Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dispatch Game Day, sponsored by Jets Pizza. My name is Ryan Antonucci, joined here by Quentin Bursch. In a few minutes, we're going to take you down to the field for this Hersey versus Prospect MSL East rivalry matchup. So much on the line in this game, potentially an MSL East title. The Huskies coming into this game with a 4-game win streak. Prospect, a closer game than anybody would have imagined against Rolling Meadows, just winning 35-32. That was a home game for the Knights. We have an unbelievable matchup here, deeply rooted rivalry. Last year, Huskies lost twice to Prospect in the season, and pretty rare to lose to your rivals twice in a year. Q-Tip, walk us through this matchup. Walk us through what we've seen so far from this Husky team as they now get towards the end of their schedule, which has been pretty difficult.
I think me and you were talking a lot about this before and in the past weeks and what we've done working together this week. And it really seems like this is going to be a testament of the Huskies' defense and what they can actually make happen. Because a lot of the games we've played this season were either against juggernaut teams, where they just ran through us, or we're kind of against more of, I don't want to say muffin teams, but we really had easy wins. And I feel like this is going to be a testament of what can our defense do, because I really believe in our offense. But our defense, on the other hand, they haven't really had anybody to struggle against, or when they did struggle, it was a big struggle. Yeah,
Barrington and Warren were probably the best two teams that we've seen so far this year. I believe both of those teams are better than Prospect. And we played, of course, Warren very tight. Barrington, that's a different story. But I think those games were very run-heavy teams, right? It was more about stopping the run. It really helped our run game throughout the course of the year, getting those early reps at the beginning of the year. Now we face Jackson Caccini, the junior quarterback, and this Prospect pass offense, which has been very strong going into this game. Caccini threw for all 5 touchdowns last week against Rolling Meadows. He was 16 for 22 with 313 yards. He's been impressive. He's a junior like Narod, so I think we're going to get a lot of Narod and Caccini back and forth this game and probably for next year as well. But what do you think about this pass game right now for Prospect?
I think if you just listed those stats out as it was, we'd kind of be like, oh my gosh, Jake Narod's got competition. But as we saw, I think it was 3 weeks ago against Elk Grove, 2 weeks ago, excuse me, 2 weeks ago against Elk Grove, and then 3 weeks ago against Niles West. Yes. Jake Narod, through both games, he had...
3 weeks ago was Wheeling.
Excuse me. Well, either way, all 3 of the games, Jake Narod had over 200 passing yards, and that was just in the first half. I believe Niles West and Wheeling, he had over 260 in the first half, and both of those had like 6 touchdowns. So the real question is, what's the Prospect's quarterback? What's his name?
I had him, Jackson Caccini.
Jackson Caccini. If Caccini is throwing as good as Narod did in one half, will Narod just be a better quarterback throughout the whole game?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how both these rosters size up against each other. We've been comparing Prospect to Hersey all year, and I think they're pretty accurate comparisons in terms of looking at this team. Hersey really focuses on their passing attack, though they have a very strong running back with Brandon Jenkins. I feel like these past couple weeks when we've had an easier schedule, we've been looking through the air a lot, and we've just been relying on these long Brandon Jenkins rushes that have also put in touchdowns, like last week against Buffalo Grove. Jenkins opened scoring with a long touchdown rush. But these two teams, Matthew Donnelly, the running back for Prospect, still very impressive too. Last game, 20 rushes for 89 yards. But I think we definitely have the upper end in the run game going into this one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just looking at our stats against Elk Grove 2 weeks ago, because I just bring up the home games, and this is a home game for the Huskies here. We had 188 rushing yards and then 178 passing yards. So we're kind of evened out, and I think we're really starting to gain our rushing confidence back into this couple weeks, because I feel like Elk Grove and this week against BG, our rushing game has really developed versus the first 4 weeks we were kind of just going through it.
Yeah, and so transitioning off the run game now to the pass game, we already touched on it, but this Prospect team has been described as having one of the best receiving corps in the state of Illinois this year. It's backed by Harvard commit Nate Sitchie and Devin Gertis, who's another wide receiver on this team. How is that going to stack up against this Hersey secondary, who hasn't seen a lot of teams that have a strong pass game? Warren, not a young quarterback in, obviously, these past couple of weeks with Buffalo Grove, Elk Grove, Wheeling, Niles West, and Maine West, not strong passing games here. The only good team that we saw with their pass game was Barrington. So secondary hasn't really been tested. What do we think?
I think it's going to really depend on, I don't want to say his name wrong,
Caccini?
Caccini, yeah. I think it's really going to depend on Caccini's throws. If he has receivers like this that have been able to get open, is it Caccini that's making the plays or is it the receivers, you know? Because if our defense can really lock on these receivers and it's Caccini making the plays, I feel like they have a chance and they could get there.
Well, last year it was like that same thing too, but Sitchy, he was a receiver last year. He's just fast. He's a fast player. He's hard to take down. I remember plowing through our Hersey defense last year, and I think that it's a mix of both when you look at it at that perspective.
Yeah, but counter to what I just said, if it's the receivers sort of more making the plays, I think that we would almost struggle more just because if the receivers are able to get open, our coverage might not be there, and then he's got open receivers down the sidelines.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I also want to transition now to what we saw last week with Prospect Rolling Meadows. Those are the two teams that we haven't seen yet. Prospect, you know, we didn't do a pregame show, but I feel like we both would have picked the Knights in that one. And Prospect did start with a 2-possession lead, but then Meadows kind of clawed back towards the end and made it a 3-point game. That was very surprising to me, especially we watched that Meadows team last year. We were 40 points better than them. And, you know, Prospect also beat them by, I would assume, a similar margin. But this year, that these teams are so easy, it's so like similar, especially after losing their coach to St. Viator. What do we think looking ahead? What do we think of Meadows?
I told you last pregame show that I was going to take Meadows over any team that, you know, we're kind of looking at. I know we didn't, as you said, we didn't do a pregame show last week, but I might have taken Meadows just because, you know, my brother's a coaster, and I feel like I'm almost a fan of Meadows now. Obviously, fan of Hersey first, but if I got to pick a second team in the MSL, I think I'm going for Meadows.
Yeah, I think that score definitely made me, like, it kind of changed my opinion on Prospect going into this one. Prospect's only loss this year coming to Palatine. It was a week 2 loss, 34-37 in overtime. And Palatine has struggled this year. We've noted that. We thought they were originally going to be one of the top teams. That was a scary look at first. We're like, oh my God, they just took Palatine to overtime. Meanwhile, we just lost to Warren and Barrington. Like, Prospect's got to be so strong this year. But Palatine's kind of been struggling since then. And then on top of this, you had that 3-point win against Meadows. And running back Donnelly excused last week's tight score, saying they didn't have their best week of practice and that it really showed. But they really tried to play within themselves, and they took a one play at a time mindset. And I think it's just lowered my opinion, I would say, on Prospect. All right, so me and Q-Tip had a little fun this week off. We did some kicking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We did some kicking.
So Hersey kicker Jack Foster led us out to the field, and we took some field goals attempts. We're going to plug this into our pregame show and show you guys how it went. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the field. And today, we're kind of out of our element here. We're going to be doing some kicking with Hersey kicker Jack Foster today. Now, you know, normally me and Q are up in the booth and sometimes a little critical of the kickers, but we thought, why not give us the chance to kick, see what it's like on the field. And so that's why today we're cutting our kicker some slack and we're going to attempt some field goals here. Foster, you've been doing this for a while. Tell me about what kicking's like. What do I have to know how to do?
It's a lot more mental than it is physical. I mean, the physical stress is definitely not there. You go out for 3 seconds, take your kick, but the mental stress of, you know, what your coaches or your players might think or other teammates, just there's so much on the line. I've never had to attempt a game-winning field goal, but for all the kickers out there in college and the NFL, I can feel that. I can feel the stress, like the weight on their shoulders. So it is a lot harder than people think.
All right, we're also joined by guest picker Emily Durkin, who's going to be kicking with us as well. Once again, after we're out here kicking, we're going to head back and we're going to finish our game day broadcast. All right, let's go.
It's about here. The best way to expose that is by leaning it to the right and leaning it a little bit forward so you can get the best kind of contact on the ball that you possibly can.
Okay. Do you want to show us a field goal?
Yeah, sure.
Just so we see how to do it. You think is shoes off the strap?
For me, yeah, because those aren't good shoes for kicking. But typically I do like 3 steps backwards and then 2 steps to my left. Kind of take my calm, deep breath. And put it up and through. Normally it should go higher than that, but Being that I'm not wearing shoes and I didn't have a warm-up, I think that's a good kick.
All right, Q-Tip. Q-Tip, give us our first attempt.
Are we ready? Do I go? There we go! Straight through. That was a good kick.
All right. I might lose the mic, but here we go. All right, so 3 steps back, 2 left.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He's missed the kick.
What did I do wrong?
You like turning. You like turning
Oh.
against that way.
All right.
It almost curved in though.
I've never been more ready in my whole life. Okay.
Sure can make it 2 for 3. The dispatch team.
Oh no.
Ah, that was terrible.
Your prediction was right.
One more time. I need revenge here. Oh. Maybe it's the tie that's the problem.
Yeah, the ties.
Hold on. Wait, the weight like this?
Like imagine like the top side of
Oh,
the big toe.
It was my left foot or Q-tip?
You're like turning. You're like that.
Oh
You
no.
gotta stay straight, bro.
Okay. For the record, I haven't played a sport in over 4 years. So, okay. Right here. I can't do this. Oh my God.
All right, so clearly it's not that easy to make a kick from me and Durkin's perspective.
It is
Durkin, what do
not
you think?
easy. I have a lot more respect for our kickers now.
Yeah, I think we found a lot more respect for our kickers. Anyway, let's go back to the pregame show.
All right, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that segment. That was a lot of fun kicking. I've never really kicked before. Obviously, Emily's never kicked before from that.
If you can tell.
Yeah, but yes, as we teased in our kicking show, Emily is our guest picker. She's the producer for the Hersey Dispatch and one of our editors-in-chiefs. And so, Emily, as you said, you're going to do some research going into this one. Did that research actually happen?
No, but also Ryan switched up the game, so even if I did research, it
I only switched up 3 of the games, but anyway, I'm 30-6 going into this week. Q-Tip 31-5. This is arguably our last pregame show, unless we get a home version. Maybe we'll do something with the state playoffs. But as for regular season, we have some difficult games this week, so let's get started with that. But we got records on the line here. I feel like Q-Tip, you're going to pick against every controversial pick that I do, just so you can get those legs up.
Dude,
on me.
I took a sneak peek at your picks, and I was like scratching my head on
You're
some
scratching
of
my head on some of them. I also think, or you'll be smart and you'll pick all the ones that I pick, so that there's no way.
No way you could win.
There's no way I
That
could
ruins the
win.
game.
That does kind of ruin the game.
That ruins the game.
Anyway, let's get into this set of games here. We'll start with number 1 Mount Carmel versus Fenwick. Mount Carmel, we talked about them 2 weeks ago. They just beat Brother Rice. Mount Carmel, the powerhouse, obvious number 1. Fenwick, they sneaked into the top 10 a couple times this year, but have since fallen off. Q-Tip, who do we have in this one?
I think it's going to be a big game. Normally when you see 2 top 10s, I know you said they're kind of sneaking off there, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy to call them a top 10 team. And when you see 2 top 10 teams go against each other, normally it's a giant game, but a number 1 seed versus a maybe top 10er, I feel like you have to take Mount Carmel here.
I don't know a lot about football, as you can tell by my kicking skills. But one thing I do know from being a high schooler in the northwest suburbs of Chicago is Mount Carmel is really good at football. So I'm taking Mount Carmel.
Yeah, I think this is excellent picks here by our dispatch crew. I'm also taking Mount Carmel too. Not that Fenwick is a weak team, but you saw Mount Carmel dismantle Brother Rice 2 weeks ago. Brother Rice, I believe, is a better team than Fenwick, and so I have to take Mount Carmel here. They're also at home. I don't know if that really makes a difference, but I have Mount Carmel. Anyway, Maine South versus Glenbrook South is our second non-conference game that we're focusing on here. Both teams have had experience playing in the MSL. They've had non-conference matchups against MSL teams. Maine South, they destroyed Palatine earlier in the year. Glenbrook South, I believe they faced off against Barrington.
I think so, yeah.
But anyway, interesting matchup here. Who do we have? Q-Tip.
I don't think Glenbrook South is going to win this one. I know I previously said that Glenbrook South is just a much stronger team than Glenbrook North, and I still stand on that, but I just don't see them winning here against Maine South.
South versus South. I don't like the mascot of a Titan. And isn't that GBS?
Yes.
I am going to choose Maine South, and I like Maine South's colors better. And Maine South just has, like, when you say their name, that just, like, that intimidates me more than Glenbrook South.
Like they have an aura tied to
Their
them?
aura is better than Glenbrook South, so I'm going to choose Maine South.
That Maine South coming into this game on a 6-game winning streak. Their only loss coming 40-0 to Lincoln Way East. Lincoln Way East, another top. They're number 3 right now in the state. I'm going to take Maine South in this one. You know, Glenbrook South lost to Barrington. Maine South beat Barrington. I just think Maine South is going to win this one and pretty handily, but it's going to be an interesting matchup to see how other teams in our area size up against each other. All right, let's go to our MSL West games. We have a really strong opening game here. Number 22 Fremd versus Palatine. Another rivalry game like Hersey Prospect. So we're getting a couple rivalry games also in this week. Who do we have here? Fremd ranked number 22 in the state. Palatine struggling.
Yeah, I'm taking Fremd all the way there. I don't think Palatine's going to win. I actually play volleyball with some of the players from both teams, and there's a bit of a rivalry on the volleyball team. And I think Fremd's going to take this one. I know some of the players, and I got good faith in them.
I used to do Hersey feeder for girls basketball, and we would oftentimes be at Palatine High School. But that is also, I don't like that building. But I really don't like Fremd either because they are a girls basketball rival here.
Yeah.
They knocked us out last year. But I'm taking Fremd because I don't like the building of Palatine.
Wow, okay, so building versus building, I guess.
I like the Palatine building controversy.
Yeah, their football, so I put across, and I've been on their football field a couple times. The football field's kind of weird.
But
Their school is kind of
the
their
3-story with that giant glass.
I haven't been to
Oh
the
my
actual
gosh, it's
school
so cool.
but anyway, not focusing on the building. We're shifting focus now to the game. I'm actually going to take Palatine in this one. I know maybe that was the one that you thought was going to be a little controversial.
I was scratching my head on that one.
You know, looking at Fremd's schedule, they haven't really been battle tested, and they just lost to Barrington 23-7 coming into this game. So yes, they're going to have a little bit of a fiery spirit back to them, but I think they've played some weak non-conference opponents, haven't really prepped them for this game. They are at home though, which may make a difference. Meanwhile, Palatine right now 4-3. They've played teams like Glenbrook South, Maine South, Prospect. They've played Barrington earlier in the season. I'm going to take Palatine in this one. I think it's going to be a very close game. I need to also make some moves here down the stretch so I can get ahead of Q-Tip, but Palatine is going to take the win, in my opinion. All right, Conant versus Hoffman Estates. Hoffman Estates been very strong this year. Conant, I likened them to Wheeling at the beginning of the year, but I'm going to take back that statement. Conant has actually done very well. They're just coming off a win against Schaumburg. So who do we have here, Q-Tip?
I don't know. I was really hooked because one of my favorite parts of our first week pregame show was how you said Conant was the Wheeling of the
Conant
of the
with
West.
wins against Vernon Hills, Highland Park, and Schaumburg. They just beat Schaumburg by 20 points. So,
but I don't know. I also feel like Hoffman is the Wheeling. I think it's a battle of two Wheelings here.
Hoffman has actually had a pretty strong year. You know, they're 5-2 right now. So but traditionally yes. But I don't know. Who do you have?
I don't think it's crazy to take either of them, but I think I'm gonna go Hoffman.
Hoffman.
I think I'm gonna go Hoffman.
All right.
Battle of the Wheelings is not a light statement. That's not a light statement. So if you're because I record every single one of these pregame shows for these guys, so I listen to their insight. And hearing someone be called the Wheeling of their whole like conference, that's not a light thing to be called. That is not a good thing to be called. So you know what? I'm going to take Hoffman Estates.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Hoffman Estates too. Conan, they have had a stronger year this year. Actually, Conan has. No, never mind. I'm going to retract what I was going to say. I was going to say that Conan beat Schaumburg more than Hoffman did, but that's just not true. Hoffman did beat him by 21, Conan by 15. I think this game might be kind of close, though.
I don't think it'd be crazy if Conan comes out with the win.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but it would just not sit well. I don't know why. It's just Conan's never been that strong. They were 0-9 last year. Now they're beating Hoffman.
Can I take back what I said? Let's add some spice to this.
You're taking Conan.
I feel like I might as well, because if I just take all the same picks as you, and I really have, I have faith that Fremd's going to beat Palatine.
Okay.
And then I just come away with an easy win. Let's add some spice to this.
All right.
I'll take Conan.
Wait, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the thing right here on the thing, okay?
Change it.
Yeah, change it. So, all right then. So, I think I just got a free point on you off that one. So, I'm going to take Hoffman in this one. But, yeah, I guess I got to really root for Palatine this week. This is going to be the most intense score checking that we're going to be doing. But I'm going to take Hoffman in this one. All right, to close out our MSL West game, Schaumburg versus number 13 Barrington. Barrington very strong this year, just coming off a win against Fremd. Fremd previously ranked number 8 in the state. Who do we have, Q-Tip? Schaumburg, Barrington.
You said Fremd.
No, I said they just came off a win against Fremd. Fremd ranked number 8 in the state.
I thought you said Fremd again. I was really confused. Yeah, no, I feel like you kind of have to take Barrington here. You're crazy if you don't.
I am also going to take Barrington for 2 reasons. One, because Dr. Heath McFall, our principal, was at Barrington before, and that's Hersey loyalty. And also, well, not Hersey loyalty, but he used to be there, but now he's here.
So we're now friends with Barrington?
No. Okay, well, actually, my second reason is one of my best friends went to Barrington High School, so I'm choosing Barrington.
Durkin likes Barrington. I don't know if I really like Barrington. Anyway, though, I'm going to take them for the win. Schaumburg, they're just coming off a loss to Conant. I believe Schaumburg is the weakest team this year in the MSL West, so I'm going to take Barrington. All right, MSL East games now. We're going to start off with Wheeling versus Rolling Meadows. Meadows looking very strong after that tight loss to Prospect. I think they're 6-1 so far this year. Oh, no, or they're 5-2. I'm not sure. Q-Tip, you'd know better. Your relative's a coach there. But anyway, who do we have?
Yeah, I'm taking Meadows. I think I've said it before. I'm going to take them every time I see them in this pregame show, and I'm pretty sure I have, and it's worked out for me. I'm going to take Meadows again.
I am going to take Meadows because even though I have some experience with Wheeling Media, I helped them out a few years ago.
So now we're going after media teams?
No, because here, listen. So I helped Wheeling Media 2 years ago for a basketball tournament. They have some really nice equipment. They have some nice people working there. I feel bad for them. They don't have a good team to be using their skills for. So I take Meadows.
Shots fired.
I'm going to also take Meadows. I don't know how to rebound after that statement, but I'm going to take Meadows in this one too. Wheeling maybe they'll find their way eventually. Maybe, not while me or my brother are at Hersey, but
be an adjective at some point.
Yeah, maybe at some point. I hope when I come back, Prospect is really bad and Wheeling's really good. There used to be a time.
Wheeling is the Prospect of the Midwest.
Yeah,
you think that's gonna happen?
Yeah, I feel like there used to be a time where Wheeling was actually pretty good. I feel like I've mentioned this on every single pregame show that they used to beat Hersey every year, but clearly not anymore. All right. Final game before we get to our main event here, Buffalo Grove at home versus Elk Grove. These are 2 teams that we have seen so far. Buffalo Grove coming off a loss 52-2 to Hersey. Elk Grove coming off a big win against Wheeling. They dismantled Wheeling last week. I feel like these teams are pretty similar. What do we have, Q-Tip?
Dude, this is going to be a big week because I think I'm going to take BG here. I just don't think they did good against Hersey. It wasn't their week, and Hersey just dismantled them I guess I just took your word.
Yeah.
So that wasn't very cool, but I think I'm going to take BG here. I just have faith, and to be honest, I'm going to pull a Durkin here. I don't like EG. I don't like Elk Grove whatsoever.
Elk Grove homecoming game, that was a kind of a blowout, but also last week was a blowout. So both teams were demolished. I'm trying to make a logical pick here, but you know what? BG, my mom is an alumni, so I'm going to choose Buffalo Grove, even though, you know what? Yeah, but orange goes better with brown. Orange goes better with brown, but I'll choose.
So Buffalo Grove, Durkin's pick. I was really conflicted on this one. I went back and forth on this one in my head a lot. I've seen both teams play, so like I have a sense of both teams' like rosters, I guess. I was actually kind of impressed by Elk Grove's offense. They struggled the pass game, but I believe Tanner was the name of the receiver, right? He hauled in those couple of nice catches towards the end there. I think BG couldn't really. They looked like a team. They looked like the more athletic team when I was watching the Hersey game. They looked more athletic than I think Elk Grove was, but I just think that they just weren't really that explosive on offense or defense in comparison to what I saw from Elk Grove. Also, if you want to do score stuff, BG beat Deerfield 27-24. Elk Grove beat Deerfield 24-17. So I'm gonna take Deerfield. I'm gonna take Elk Grove. And I think this is just a really good game. Another one that we're gonna be watching pretty closely up in the booth.
Here's the thing, like we differed on 3 now.
Yeah.
So if I win 1 and you win 2, we tie. Otherwise, this is the deciding.
This is the deciding game.
It's not like.
And I'm not picking this because I highlight who I'm going to pick before. So I'm not doing this because you picked BG. I truly believe, though they're 2-5 and that they've struggled, that they're not going to the state playoffs. I think Elk Grove's the better team, and they're coming off a win where they give themselves some energy and pride against. I know it's Wheeling, but still, a little bit of a boost. And then BG just got absolutely dismantled on their home field.
I do want to point out, though, it kind of goes with what you were saying, but I believe in the Elk Grove game, they were using like a backup quarterback as a starter, and they didn't even have a backup quarterback roster. It was just a receiver. So I wonder if their quarterback's back in now. We never really figured out what happened with that.
Well, he started the game. Dean, was that his last name? Dean?
I'm not 100% sure. They were like, it was really hard to see.
I can go back on my sheet. Yeah, it was hard to see. But they started with the quarterback in their first quarter, and then they pulled him right away. And then the other quarterback came in who I thought was throwing better, but also had the 2 or 3 interceptions.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what was going on.
Yeah, but nevertheless, going to be an interesting game to watch. All right. It's been a rivalry for a long time now. Hersey versus Prospect, just year after year, the best 2 teams in the MSL East could go for some of the best teams in the MSL as a whole. My freshman year, sophomore year, Hersey took the win. I remember storming the field my freshman year. Sophomore year, it was a pretty comfortable win. And then last year, it was devastating. A 3-point loss, 27-30 on the road at Prospect. And then first round in the state playoffs, getting knocked out. That was a huge loss. I believe it was 54-14 or something along those lines. I remember leaving at halftime that game. It's a very storied rivalry for the seniors on this team. For me, myself, it determines that if in my Hersey career, is Hersey going to be 3-2 against Prospect, or is Prospect going to be 3-2 against Hersey? So a lot on the line here. Q-Tip, what do we have?
Coming into this game, I think we talked about it 5 minutes ago, but it's really going to be a battle of the quarterbacks here. Who's got better airtime? And that's when you come to realize, once you bring in other aspects of the team, like Brandon Jenkins, for instance, and we double their rushing yards, will it really be a battle of the air if Hersey's offense is just so dominant? I'm taking Hersey.
It's my senior year like these 2. And one thing that has remained constant in these crazy 4 years of high school, I do not like Prospect. I remember that game freshman year when Hersey won and we stormed the field. That was one of my favorite moments from high school.
Best field in the world.
Even though blue is my favorite color. Or I just get so angry whenever I see Prospect blue. I get so mad. And I have a lot of school spirit this year. This is my last year. And I will always choose Hersey over Prospect. Prospect sucks.
And my favorite color is green.
I
like blue.
They say it's all about the U. Why did they say that? They're not Miami. What are they talking about?
Actually,
I choose Hersey.
I actually heard that the underground is.
Why are they underground?
Well,
They're
I was actually going to tell you that story. Apparently, their student section, like, they have a basement or whatever at Prospect. They used to like gather like underground, and so they call it the. I don't know.
Dude,
it makes no sense. It doesn't even reflect.
To be honest, I think the underground has way more aura than Orange Crush.
No.
No,
Like,
I don't
no,
agree.
but just
Don't
by
say
name.
that to
Like, if
me.
you say an Orange Crush and then you hear the underground, you're like, ooh, the
But
underground.
the underground doesn't tie to
It doesn't.
anything.
Well, if the basement story is true,
Yes, and I'm sure it is true, but like you need to know that
Yeah, I suppose.
pre-context. Like,
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't go with their mascot.
it's okay.
The underground sucks, and Prospect sucks beat Prospect.
yeah, Prospect, they have good colors. I will
They
argue
have
that.
good
They have good
colors.
colors. They have a really nice building.
They do.
It is 10 times nicer than Hersey. The glass panels and
Oh,
everything.
but the kids.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I don't want to take any targeted attacks here, but and my mom went there, and my whole one side of the family, so that's pretty mean.
Oh.
But yeah, my parents, well, not my parents, my mom went there. My mom's whole side of the family went there. So I have my cousins go there, so I have a deep connection to Prospect. But I'm not a Prospect student. I'm a Hersey student, and I will die on this grave that I think that Hersey is the better program athletically. They have the better academics. We are the best school in District 214, and this game is more than just a football game. It comes down to Prospect Hersey. They're like number 20 and 21 on the academic rankings. They're always up there at the top for every single sport: volleyball, lacrosse, basketball, even hockey. I played prep this week, and we're always right there. And this game just shows year after year who is the number one school. And I think there is only one answer to that question. Let's go Huskies, baby.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Let's go use. All right. We thank you so much for joining us for this edition of our pregame show. This could be our last pregame show of the season. I'm actually going to take off my head for this, but this could be our last pregame show of the year. It has been awesome, a blast every week to hang out with you guys, to talk about our football knowledge and to make our picks. And now we're going to transition over to the broadcast. My name's Ryan Antonucci, joined here by Quentin Bursch and Emily Durkin. We thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the game. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dispatch Game Day, sponsored by Jets Pizza. My name is Ryan Antonucci, joined here by Quentin Bursch. In a few minutes, we're going to take you.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Roland R. Goins Stadium for your Hersey Huskies against the Prospect Knights. It's rivalry week. The Huskies coming into this game off a 5-game win streak, but they have a tough opponent against the Prospect Knights. The Knights coming off a tight win against Meadows. Once again, we thank you for joining us. Ryan Antonucci, Quentin Bursch, Q-Tip. What do we think about tonight's matchup?
You know, we talked about it in the pregame show. This is really going to be a battle through the air. You know, who's got the better jets out here? Who's got the arm? And how is it going to affect both teams? I think Brandon Jenkins is going to have a good game. As you said, the running offense for the Knights is not their strongest suit. I think it's going to be a battle in the air.
Amazing environment tonight at the field. The Prospect student section's taken up 3 sections. They rode their bikes to get here. Hersey fans been waiting here for hours for tonight's matchup. We're so excited to get this underway. Let's take you down to the field. All right, it is pink out tonight. You see me in my pink suit, Q-tip pink tie. Pink out tonight supporting breast cancer awareness. Huskies do it every year, so the Husky student section tonight. Pink is the theme. Ones on Fridays, we wear pink, as they would say around here. Also, we have to pie a dean tonight. Dean Norris. Huskies students, based off their attendance, the dean with the worst attendance, I believe, got pied. No, is it the dean with
the best attendance?
Best attendance got pied.
It's kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah, that is weird. I feel like I wouldn't want to. Well, I don't know. So the dean with the best attendance got pied.
I think it's more of like the students win the prize of pieing the dean if they show up to classes.
All right, we're moments away from getting underway. Huskies going to be kicking to the Knights.
Henry Koziel on the receiving.
Henry Koziel and Devin Gertis on the reception. Jack Foster getting ready to kick. And we are underway in this one. Foster's kick is long. It's going to be returned by Gertis into the end zone for a touchback. So a good start for the Huskies on special teams as we get a first look at this prospect offense led by junior Caccini.
Caccini, we talked about him in the pregame show. Is he going to have the skills? Is it going to be a battle of the two junior quarterbacks? What can Caccini bring to the table, and what can Jake Nara bring to the table?
Caccini threw for all 5 touchdowns against Meadows last week. He was 16 for 22 with 313 yards. Donnelly, the running back, lined up to his right. First play is going to be a handoff to Donnelly. Donnelly finds space to the outside. He has room. He's still on his feet and will be pushed out of bounds by Shaden Georgakakis and Tyler Wentick. So immediately a strong rush for the Knights. You know, we talked about Huskies. They face strong running backs so far this year. We talked down Matthew Donnelly before this game, but he can really be an underrated force.
You know, I don't think the Huskies were ready for that play. I think me and you both were expecting a passing play, and they just run it out the gate, find a nice gap to the outside. Walton not able to make a tackle, and they gain yards.
Another handoff to Donnelly up the middle. Donnelly still with room, and he powers forward to a gain of about 9. So 2nd and 1, 2 long rushes to start off this game for Donnelly.
You know, it could be film, it could be studying, it could just be paying attention to what Hersey is lacking this season. And it seems to be working out so far in the first 2 plays. They've gained, 30 yards?
Sitchy in motion. It's another handoff to Donnelly up the middle. Donnelly still on his feet, but will be swarmed by a pack of Huskies. He will get the first down. So already in Hersey territory, making it first down and 10 at the 49-yard line. So a great start for this prospect offense. And, you know, if you're the Hersey defense right now, you still have to watch out for wideout number 6, Nate Sitchy. Caccini now looking to pass. He drops back and finds his target over the middle. It's caught by Sitchy. Sitchy's first reception of the game for 5 yards. And so prospect doesn't elect to go long on their first pass, but in the end finds Sitchy across the middle.
You know, it's really tough to guard those man-to-man coverage when it's a short slant play all the way across the center. There's almost nothing Georgakakis can do there.
Caccini rolls out, looking to pass. He looks downfield, and it's overthrown. Intended target, number 4, Gordon Kemp, the junior.
You know, Caccini almost seemed stressed out there. He saw his receiver at the end of his route, and he kind of just threw it up quick. I think he had more time.
You talk about this wide receiver core for prospects. Daily Herald said they were one of the best wide receiver cores in the state, and we imagine we'll see them in action here on 3rd and 5. Kemp in motion. A little delay here from the referee crew. Or actually, no, it's the coaching staff giving a signal over to Jackson Caccini. Caccini drops back the pass. He finds his receiver, but it's overthrown. Intended target Nate Sitchy, and Nate Sitchy was wide open right there. No extra help for Zell Walton, but that pass still overthrown. There is an injured Hersey player on the field, so we'll cut away from that for a second.
Johnny Lamancia, I don't know how to say the name, Lamansa. Looks like he's on the ground for a second, but LaMonica, yeah.
Yes.
This is what I was worried about with this prospect offense. You know, the Huskies haven't really faced a deep threat passing team, and every time they did, I think it was against Niles West, the ball was just severely overthrown. And we see it there. The Huskies were sort of burned, and then they had a receiver open, and that one was also overthrown. So how do you think the Huskies need to work on their passing defense to be able to lock down the Knights here?
Yeah, I think, it's all about putting pressure on Caccini in the pocket, right? If you get a good pass rush defense right there and force him to make quicker decisions. You saw him release that ball pretty early on both those throws. Right now he's 1 for 3. And I think if the Huskies keep doing what they're doing, I'm a little worried about the start right now on the run game for Donnelly. But we'll see how this develops. Huskies expected to get the ball here on 4th and 5. But you never know. You could always go for it on 4th. I actually wouldn't be surprised if the Knights go for it on 4th here. They're in Hersey territory, and they have plenty of time to come up with a play here, and you see both offense and special teams on the field for the Huskies right now trying to work out what the Knights are going to do.
I think, if Tom Nelson would go for it, why doesn't Prospect?
Yeah, I would think Nelson would go for it in this situation. And Coach Dan DeBoof, head coach of the Knights, also, I would elect he'd manage to go for it, especially with his running and passing game. All right, LaMonica is up. We're set to return to play in a few seconds here. He's
looks like it might be some sort of
wrist or arm.
He does have that sleeve/brace on his arm already. It could have been a re-injury, maybe just it's annoyance. It could just be stress on that part of the arm as well. We're hoping for the least.
All right. Caccini out there, the Knights electing to go for it on 4th down unless they come with a punt or maybe a hard start here. He elects to run up the middle, and to very little gain there, the Huskies will stop the Knights on 4th down. A huge momentum pickup here for the Huskies as they will take over on downs.
I don't think that was the right play there.
I don't know if that was a blown-up play or what it was, but
yeah, maybe
Caccini takes a snap, just elects to go for it. I see, I'm a New York Giants fan, so I see Jackson Dart run that play a lot when he believes his offensive line is kind of collapsing in on him. But I believe he had plenty of time to toss there.
I do like how Jackson Dart goes through the pocket down the middle. He doesn't really scramble outside. But I think he had time to pass their open receivers. I don't really know what he's doing going down the middle. Maybe that was the play call.
All right, first look here at your Hersey offense. They've been really powerful in their pass game recently and their run game, and they're going to start with a handoff to Jenkins, who will be swarmed behind the line of scrimmage. That's got to be a loss of 5. The Knights read that, no problem, and so immediately a rough start for the Huskies here on offense.
You talked about how Caccini only threw for 1 for 3 there, and I just want to point out Jake Narrott on his passing. He has 1,800 yards, 27 passing touchdowns with a 74% completion on 137 attempts. That is outrageous from a junior quarterback at high school levels.
2nd and 14. Narrott dumps a pass off to Wilder. Wilder bobbles it, but is able to pick up a little bit of yardage. However, he is still short of that original line of scrimmage, so it's going to make it 3rd and 11. So you got to imagine we're going to see Narrott's first turn passing here, or a deep pass maybe here instead of those little dump-off passes.
Yeah, technically that dump-off to Wilder
pass,
is adding to his completion.
Third and 11. Hersey on their own 39-yard line looking to pick up a first down. Wilder in motion. And there was movement on the line, and I believe that's going to be a false start on the Huskies.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. He kind of snapped the ball and then held it back and then snapped it slow. I mean,
false start on the Huskies. Don't know what number it was, but it looked like one of the interior offensive linemen. And so the Huskies going to back up 5 yards, making it 3rd and 16. And discipline is going to play a huge factor in this game. Rivalry game, tons of pressure, tons of stadium pulse, as you'll like to say. And so flags are going to make a huge difference as we move through this one. 3rd and 16. Nara looking to pass. He runs out of time, tosses over the middle, and that pass a little low intended for Josh Riggs. And so the Huskies, you got to imagine they're going to punt here on 4th and long.
Wow, I mean, the Knights, basically, if they don't punt here and they get a stop, the Knights would have gained 6 yards on defense.
Special teams coming out. Jack Mao, who's going to prep for the punt here, the sophomore. Got to imagine the pressure on his hands here. And this prospect defense holds tall with 2 injuries. Nick Lies and Jackson Parrish, the defensive back.
You know, Jack Mao only has 1 missed field goal on the whole season. He's looking like a stud this year. But what can he do for the punt?
Mao's punt rolls a couple of yards. It's going to be picked up by the Knights returner, who's going to be pushed out of bounds. That's number 3.
Drew Frank.
Devin Gertis on the return. Drew Frank with the push. And so the Knights starting with excellent field position at the Knights' 40-yard line. You know, Q-Tip, you saw them through the air and on the ground. What do we think we're going to see here this set of downs?
I don't know. I feel like they could go either way right now. If I was a Husky, I think I'd be flustered out there. But, you know, I feel like if it worked out for them the first time, they should go for a run again. Looks like the coaches keep doing audibles.
Yes. Trying to screw up this Husky defense here. Cuccini takes that a pitch that goes a little awry, but he's still able to hand it. That's Donnelly, who will be tackled for about a gain of 7 or 8. And that play almost was a little disastrous.
Yeah,
You saw Donnelly with the bobble.
Play there.
Donnelly with the bobble there. So 2nd and 3. Another direct snap to Donnelly. Donnelly will pick up Cuccini will pick up the first down, but he seemed to bobble that snap as well there. It seemed like a messed up play.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here for the Knights.
Just a little bit of nerves probably
it looks
early
like
on.
They're looking confused, but it's working out for them because the Huskies are confused. A lot of confusion going on.
Cuccini picks up the first down, a short gain of 4. So once again, the Knights are threatening in Hersey territory. 7:40 remaining in this first quarter. Cuccini, another handoff to Donnelly. Donnelly with room, still on his feet. He's running all over the Huskies right now. And he will pick up a first down, another gain of 5+ yards. An 11-yard gain right there. So another first down for the Knights.
You know, it seems to be a lot of our DBs are tackling this running back just because he gets so far into our defensive. I think our linebackers, if they step up here, maybe it's a run stoppage every time.
Another handoff to Donnelly up the middle for 5 yards. And, you know, if you're the Huskies, you really have to limit those explosive runs. Second and 5, under 7 minutes in this first quarter. Knights looking to score. Another handoff to Donnelly. Donnelly still on his feet, and he's still up. Donnelly powers through the Hersey defense and will take it into the end zone for a prospect touchdown. So immediately, Donnelly and this prospect offense aiming for the rush, and they pick up the 33-yard rushing touchdown. And a rough start so far for the Huskies. A 3 and out on their first possession. And on defense, struggling to stop the run.
You know, that's just a brutal start from the Huskies. That's not what you want to see. just getting swarmed by the run here. And the Knights are going for a 2-point conversion
No,
here.
they tried to
They're
fake it,
switching
but
back.
they used to do this all the time last year. I feel like this is a signature prospect play.
Carlos Siviero for the kick.
Siviero's kick is up, and it's good. So the Knights take a 7-0 lead. A good start for the Knights on the road, an intimidating environment to come into. And the Prospect Underground, filled with energy right now, bouncing up and down. Meanwhile, you look at the Hersey side and a little nervous.
Very anticlimactic for the Huskies out here.
You know, Q-Tip, what has stood out to you so far about the Prospect offense in relation to this Hersey defense?
You know, it's just little gains, to be honest. We saw their defense with a stop on every single play, and then their offense just gets a first down every time, even if it's only 11 yards, even if it's 6 yards and then 6 yards the next play. They're just getting these little gains, and they haven't really been stopped at all. You know, they need to be challenged. I think the Huskies need to take them off the track.
Now your Huskies coming into this one, lighter schedule that they've played up until this point. Obviously start with Warren and Barrington, two tough opponents, but now transition into a harder part of the MSL East schedule with Rolling Meadows and Prospect. And I want to mention huge implications in this game in terms of who gets home field advantage in the first round of the IHSA 7A state playoffs. Typically teams with 3 losses or even 4 losses do not get home field advantage. So the Huskies, if they want a first-round home game, are going to need to pull off this one and beat the Mustangs next week. Kick up to Walton. Walton's going to let it roll out of bounds for a touchback. So that first possession for the Huskies, what do you think? What did you learn from that about Prospect's defense and this Hersey offense?
I think their D-line kind of just swarmed past our O-line. Our O-line seemed to be a little bit surprised, and I don't think Jake had enough time in the pocket, and I don't think Jenkins had any gaps to get through. I think our O-line needs to work a little bit harder here and get rid of this Prospect D-line, and I think we'll have it in the bag.
All right, 1st and 10, ball on the 20. And so hopefully the Huskies could look to go 80 yards here for a touchdown. Wilder in motion, Narvat steps back, quick outside pass to Jenkins. Jenkins still on his feet, powering through this Prospect secondary, and he's going to be taken down just shy of the first down line. So a pickup of about 9. Tackle by D'Angelo. Defensive back Anthony D'Angelo at the tackle, senior, this Hersey team. Second and 3. Wentink in motion. Narvat dropping back the pass. He doesn't find a target. He floats one up to Wilder. That's caught! Wilder over the head of the Prospect defensive player. I believe that's Michael Foley with the tackle, and Wilder with a momentum pickup there for the Huskies, and also a 22-yard catch.
You know, Wilder just coming off of a shoulder injury, and we see that he's really putting up stats. He's actually coming in at the 3rd best receiver on the team, even though he's a tight end, 210 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Excellent catch by Wilder. Way to use his size on that one. He's one of the bigger players here on this field.
Excuse me, 5
Huskies work
touchdowns.
from midfield. It's a handoff now to Jenkins. Jenkins with room along the outside and we pushed out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So now your Hersey offense is cooking back-to-back 10-plus yard gains.
You know, Jenkins, our rushing leader, 60 attempts for 751 yards. 65 yards is his longest, and he's got 10 touchdowns this season and counting.
Jenkins has been very active over social media. This game means a lot to him here. Last year, 2 losses to the Huskies, to these Knights. A lot of disrespect, I feel like, put on Jenkins' name, but this game means a lot to him, especially his senior year. Handoff now to Jenkins. Jenkins with room on the inside. He's cutting through the Prospect secondary and will be taken down at about the 20-yard line. So your Hersey offensive line opening up holes. Jenkins getting through those gaps.
I told you, bro. That's all we needed to do. Once we find an O-line gap, once Jake has time in the pocket. I don't know if you noticed, but on that last play where Jackson Wilder caught it on that toss-up, Jake, the pocket almost looked like he collapsed, and then our O-line kind of held it for like 2 more seconds, and that's all he needed for Narot to get the pass out.
Gain of 16 for Jenkins. Jenkins now acting as a wideout. Narot, nobody else in the backfield. Narot looking to pass. He's immediately swarmed and will be taken down for a sack. There is a flag thrown in the backfield. Or sorry, in the secondary, so we'll see what that's all about. I could see an unnecessary roughness on Prospect here, or a potential hold, pass interference on the Knights.
I almost think it was our O-line holding there, trying not to let them get to Narot.
Yeah, it was the ref that it came from, the ref in the secondary, made me believe that that has to be extra contact, but we'll see what the call is here.
Holding
On the Knights. So Hersey, forget that sack. They'll gain 5 yards off this play.
There we go.
And so another fortunate play for the Huskies here.
It actually is a first down because on holding, if it's in the secondary, it goes to where the penalty happens.
So first down, a 10-yard pickup for the Huskies, and an excellent pickup there for Hersey in what could have been a disastrous play and a big loss of yardage. Narot hands off to Jenkins. Jenkins running backwards to avoid this Prospect defense, but he has space. Jenkins pushed out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Wow, wait for Jenkins to find space back there. He had nowhere to go but making something out of nothing. Running backward, coaches say never run backwards. That could have been a loss of 5 yards right there. But no, he uses his speed to get around that defensive line, terrorizing him.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you had breakout speed as Jenkins and ran back a yard, I don't think it'd really affect you as much.
Me?
If you had breakout speed like Jenkins
does. Yeah.
But I don't know if you noticed there, I think I've pointed it out almost every time we've been on the call. Josh Riggs' downfield blocking is one of the best I've ever seen at a high school level.
And not just Riggs, but all of the receivers for this Husky team. Now with a handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins leaning forward for the end zone, but he's going to be marked at the line of scrimmage. So no gain on the play, 2nd and goal.
You'd almost think they're going to go for a shovel pass outside to the right. They've got 40 yards of field to work with on that right side there. What can they make happen?
Yeah, I'd be a little worried the pass here. Joe Lube, defensive back for Prospect, comes off an interception last week. He's been a very strong defensive player, and you see so far the Huskies haven't really looked through the air that much other than that 22-yard pass to Wilder. Another handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins, that was read immediately by this Prospect D-line, and so he will be taken down behind the line of scrimmage at a loss of about a yard.
Yeah, I don't think that was the call there. I mean, obviously it didn't work out for them, but it could have. I just think there's better options there. I think you almost go for an audible. You let the quarterback see what he can do. Maybe he scrambles it in. Maybe he hands it off later. But I think you got to go for
I'm
more
sorry,
of
they did not pick up the first down on that Jenkins rush earlier. So it's actually 4th and 2.
They did. They just didn't get the first down right here. They needed 2 yards.
So it's 4th and 2. Huskies keeping the offense out there. This crowd on their feet. Wentick in motion. He's looking to pass. He finds Wentick to the outside. Caught! Touchdown, Huskies! Tyler Wentick with the 4-yard grab. And your Huskies get on the board. It's 6-7. Knights still in the lead, but awaiting a Mao extra point. Our hearts were all bounding out of our chest here in the booth. You see Nora dropping back the pass.
And I think we all saw Wentink open in the corner. I called it. There's 40 yards of room to work with on the right side. They have to make a play there, and it works out for them perfectly.
Excellent play call by this Huskies offense.
I think they need to make me a play caller. This happens every stream.
Mao ready to kick. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it's no good. So Mao's kick, it might have been deflected at the line.
Like it got touched there.
But Mao's kick is no good. So your Huskies still trailing 6-7 in this one. Not
Jack Mao with his second miss of the season. That's brutal, especially in a game as big as this one. Just want to point out, Tyler Wentink is our reception leader. Right now, he's got 629 yards for 7 touchdowns on 33 receptions. Now make it 34 receptions and 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, last week, Wentink had 1 touchdown reception for 64 yards against
And it was his longest of the season.
Yes, was his longest of the season. He's committed to Washington University, St. Louis for this year. Also, Josh Riggs with a touchdown catch last year.
If you watch the pregame show, maybe they need to put me in there as a kicker.
No,
I'm
yes,
just joking.
yes,
I'm
yes.
just joking.
Yes, we really hope you enjoyed that kicking segment. That was a lot of fun to film.
Yeah.
We never really get that opportunity. So, Jack Foster, who's actually coming out for the kickoff here, is a member of our Hersey Dispatch, and so he thought he'd teach us his ways.
For those of you that don't know, the reason he's not up here announcing with us is because he actually plays on the team.
Yes, thanks, Q-Tip, for pointing out.
I just want to make it clear for
Yes,
all the
make
fans
it
that might
clear.
be a little bit confused.
If you didn't know, Q-Tip's favorite color is green. We found that out in the
If you
pregame
watch
show
the
today.
pregame show, that was one of my favorite lines of the day.
All right, so Huskies picking up tons of momentum off the touchdown. The extra point, no good, but they're looking to stop this prospect defense. They've done it one before, but late in the game, it has been a problem in terms of stopping other teams' offenses.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was worried about before coming into this game, and I kind of forgot to talk about it on the pregame show, but we've never really had a second half game with our starters against
It's been a long time. It's
and
been
Maine
Warren,
South,
yeah.
you know,
Or it's
where they
Barrington.
just totally crushed us and swamped us. And what can we do here? You know, we need our starters to be able to be healthy, be strong, have the stamina in the second half to keep up with this prospect team, or vice versa. Will the prospect Knights fall and the Huskies will flourish in the second half?
So Foster's kick a touchback. Caccini looking to pass outside. I believe that's caught by
number 6.
Sitchie. That's Nate Sitchie with the reception, the Harvard commit. And
Harvard, wow. Is he committed
Harvard,
for football?
he is committed
or do you
for
know
football.
if he's just committed there?
He is committed for football for Harvard. So very impressive, going D1 and one of the strongest schools in this country. So an academic and athletic weapon for this prospect team as they pick up the first down. A handoff now to Donnelly. Donnelly not with much room, and he gets pushed back. So a pickup of about 2 there for Donnelly. You know, I always get worried. You went into that scrum last time off the touchdown, and we thought he was down. I think I said, oh, he's swarmed by the Huskies, he's done. But he ended up breaking out for a couple yards. You know, he's good at staying on his feet. He's only a junior, too, which is pretty impressive. Last week, he had 20 rushes for 89 yards. And so far, I think he's pretty close to beating that number. Looking to pass now is Caccini. I think he finds Sitchie out to the right, but Sitchie will be held up by Zell Walton and this Hersey defense. So this brings up 3rd and short. With a third and 4. Ball on the prospect 37-yard line. So 3rd and 3 here. Ball on the prospect 38. And this is a huge play here on 3rd down. Let's see what the Knights could do. They decide to go for a rush with Caccini. Caccini's still on his feet and will be taken down just shy of the 50-yard line. So we saw that QB draw earlier in this game. Didn't work to much success, but Caccini saw the room, he saw the gap, decided to power through it, and picks up the first down and more.
You know, I previously said that this was going to be a game through the air, you know, a pass-heavy, strong air game, but it's really looking like an offensive line kind of game right now. It's really affecting both teams.
Caccini looking to pass. He finds Gertis on the outside. Gertis will be tackled in Hersey territory at the 45-yard line. So Gertis with his first reception of the game. He's been on their kick return team. Gertis actually their second top receiver on this prospect team behind Sitchie, of course. Gertis actually, I played mite hockey with him when I was about 6 or 7 years old. Caccini fakes the handoff, looking to pass downfield is a receiver, but Caccini's going to take it himself, pick up the first down, and we pushed out of bounds. And Prospect wanted a flag on that one for the late contact, but no flag thrown. And
it was a little risky from Georgia Caucus there. He did stay in bounds when he made the hit, so I don't think it's late, but, just watch your timing there.
Gordon Kemp was wide open downfield. That's who Caccini was looking for, but in the end decided to take it for himself and pick up the first down using his legs. Patience is something that's going to be very important in this game. Prospect, very patient right now with the ball, passing and rushing, and it's worked to their advantage as they're now terrorizing at the Hersey 37. It's a jump right there by Dever Pauly, but didn't jump outside, or maybe this Prospect offense wasn't set, so no flag. Donnelly to the right of Caccini. Caccini looking to pass. Caccini fires over the middle and almost intercepted by Brandon Jenkins, intended target Nate Sitchie. And so almost a huge play right there, a huge momentum swing for the Huskies. And I have to compliment, switching gears here a little bit, I have to compliment this Prospect offensive line. You've mentioned an offensive line game. Almost no pressure on the junior quarterback right now.
Jenkins has 2 interceptions and a touchdown on defense.
Really? Caccini looking to pass, fires a quick outside pass to number 26, Matthew Donnelly. And so Donnelly will be tackled out of bounds. It is 3rd and long upcoming here as time ticks away in this first quarter.
This Husky defense seemed to have almost found their motion here. They're looking a lot stronger here than they were 10 minutes ago.
So that's the end of your first quarter. Your Huskies trailing 6-7 to the Prospect Knights. Q-Tip, we've seen a lot of offense in this first quarter. We've seen a lot of really strong defense. What has been the key thing that you have noticed so far?
I want to say it again. The offensive line, we saw them make a gap there for Caccini to come through, and we saw the offensive line make time for Jake Nara to throw and Jenkins to get through. Both the offensive lines on both these teams are looking strong, and I think that's really going to be what's changing momentum for these teams tonight.
All right, we're moments away from beginning your second quarter. We'd like to shout out our crew.
Yeah, I can't even hear our student section. It's so loud right now.
Yes. Emily Durkin is our producer, obviously me and Q on the mic. Elliot Heron is our cameraman, and George Kronos. We thank you guys for taking the time to come watch our broadcast today. It's, you know what they say, if you can't make it, might as well watch it on TV. So thank you to all of you joining us. Thank you to our staff here in the booth. As the 2025 football season comes to a wrap, it's week 8. Next week, the Huskies taking on Rolling Meadows on the road. Prospect will get a home game, a road game. A home game versus Elk Grove. I was looking at the Hersey sheet. So get a home game against Elk Grove, and then we're off to the state playoffs. Right now, I was doing some research. Huskies are supposed to play Lincoln Way Central. Lincoln Way is all very strong teams. 3rd and 10. Caccini takes the snap. He's looking to pass. He's just going to elect to run it, and he has room. Caccini up the middle, still on his feet. He's at the 10. He's still getting pushed, but will get brought down at around the 5-yard line. So no QB spy there for the Huskies, letting Caccini sneak off for the long 30-yard run.
That gap from the O-line there was just ginormous. Caccini had so much space, and like I said, this O-line is really putting in work for the Knights.
Yeah, so, Caccini and his legs were not really what we thought of as a threat here for this Prospect offense, but it's shown so far. A handoff now to Donnelly. Donnelly pushing through. He has space. He will be tackled just short of the goal line, making it 2nd and goal. Ball at about the 3-yard line. You got to imagine this is 4-down territory here for the Knights, and this would be a huge stop here for the Huskies if they're able to pull it off. 2nd and 3. Another handoff to Donnelly. Donnelly has room and powers through into the end zone for a Prospect touchdown. So aided by a couple Caccini rushes when his pocket was kind of falling apart and nobody was downfield. Maybe they were designed runs, QB draws, but
It kind of looked like it because I don't think his pocket was collapsing. He had tons of space, and a lot of the receivers looked spread out as well.
yeah, Hersey defense has been doing an excellent job stopping the run, doing an excellent job stopping the passing game, and an okay job stopping the run so far, but Caccini's legs being the big factor here.
Severo.
Low snap, kick is up, and it's good. So Severo 2 for 2 today. Prospect with an 8-point lead as the Huskies going to get the ball back here with 10:57 remaining in this second quarter.
You know, you got to wonder what Tom Nelson's thinking right now. If we score again, do you go for a 2-point conversion this early, or do you wait until you might need it?
Yeah, I think you'd go with one right away, right? It gives you plenty of opportunities down the stretch to go for it. I would hate to have a fourth quarter, you got to go for two to tie the game.
If you miss it now, it could really just break morale.
Yeah, but then you get a stop and a field goal ties it. So, I don't know. It's hard, but it all kind of starts with not only Hershey scoring, but a couple stops here on defense, especially if we want this win down the stretch. So Austin Schultz and Zell Walton back to receive. We're yet to see a return so far. We've seen a punt return, but yet to see a kick return. Excellent kickers on both sides here. Prospect always has had strong special teams, and we've seen that come into play so far with a missed extra point and a couple touchback kicks. Another deep kick, not even going to be bothered to be returned by Walton.
That ball was gone.
It's almost past the end zone, and so your Huskies will start at the 20-yard line in their own territory. But you saw them go 80 yards the previous drive. Let's see what they could do here. First and 10. Huskies trailing by 8. All right, handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins, not with much room, will be taken down at about the line of scrimmage right there. So Knights showing blitz. They're able to stop the Jenkins run.
You know, I don't even know if that was a blitz. That was just a great coverage from the linebacker right there. Jenkins ran straight into him.
Yeah, I believe I saw number 11 on the Knights. Benjamin Galbraith, the linebacker, looking to blitz. You saw him kind of run up and step back.
It was 5 on the tackle there who took him down.
Jacob Pepsnick?
I believe so.
Senior linebacker. Narot looking to pass. He finds one taken. Riggs has room. Riggs along the outside. He's into Prospect territory and will be pushed out of bounds. And that was a nice pickup there of about 40 yards. And Riggs, you know, you talk about him with deep plays, big plays, and we see another one right there. Just a little under route right there and a little screen pass that wasn't picked up by this Prospect defense and is able to come out for room.
Joseph LeBou there got laid out after that play. He pushed Riggs out of bounds, but at what cost? Absolutely trucked through.
So Huskies once again in Prospect territory. It's first and 10, ball on the 38. Wentick in motion. He's going to pass outside to Wilder. Wilder with room. Excellent blocking downfield by Tyler Wentick. And so a game of about 8 there for Wilder. And again, you continue to mention wide receivers. The
downfield blocking.
Hersey skill players and their blocking has been so impressive this season, and it continues to be impressive here as Norrod launches the towel.
That one might have been the farthest towel throw I've ever seen.
I don't know what that, maybe that was Jenkins. I'm not sure who that was, but somebody just launched a towel 20 yards backfield. Clearly doesn't need that. 2nd and 2. Handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins with room, picks up the first down, but gets tripped up.
He tripped on his own lineman there. It's unfortunate for the Huskies, but it is a gain, and they get the first down there.
Pickup of about 5 on that one, so gets tripped up, but ends up working. He was going to be met by defensive players for the Knights right there anyway, so not much lost off the trip. And so your Huskies at the 30-yard line. Narod looking to pass immediately. Pressure. This is a deep pass to Wentic. Oh, bobbled. Wentic's pass. He had it in his hands, and it just lips out. Excellent pass.
That was a basket pass put perfectly from Narod. What a dot. Wentic, unfortunately,
the Orange Crush
drops it.
celebrating. They believe they scored right there, but yeah, tons of pressure right there on Narod. He barely got that pass off, and it was a perfect pass right into Wentic's arms.
Might have been the only place he could put it when there's coverage on there, and it almost looked like pass interference too. I don't want to call it and be wrong, but there was definitely some pressure there from Wenting, and he wasn't able to reel it in.
2nd and 10. That's going to be a play we're going to remember coming down the stretch here. There is a flag.
False start offense.
False start on the Huskies. So it's going to be first down.
Yeah, that's crazy. They were not even set yet. They were all checking to the refs, and they're calling a false start.
Yeah, that's... No, it wasn't even under the center there, but in the end, refs called a false start, so 2nd and 15. Narot looking to pass, finds Riggs over the middle. Riggs picks up some lost yardage to get to the Huskies. About a 6-yard gain there, so it's going to be either 3rd and 9 or 3rd or 10. Do you go for it on 4th down here, or do you take the points with the field goal?
I don't think we've ever taken a field goal.
We took a field goal last week. That's the only field goal we've taken all year against BG. It was late in the game.
Was it good?
It was good, yes. And Mao kicked that one. So yes, you haven't. But I understand probably why they did it last week, just so they could have that in their back pocket for this game. But I think it depends where this play ends up. If it's 3rd and 10, I would say kick the field goal. Though this is a long field goal.
We'll see if they run it here and they try to put Jenkins in the middle of the field, which it looks like they're doing.
Hand off to Jenkins. Jenkins still on his feet, but they're gonna say he's down at about the 20. So didn't really set him up in the center. So you got to imagine they just wanted a short pickup, so it's a closer 4th down.
Yeah, I don't know. They did not try to set the field goal up in the middle, and Jake Narot's staying on the field. We're not seeing any movement from Mao. He's not even warming up, so it doesn't even look like there's whatsoever in the
I would say go for it right here for the Huskies. In the end, it ends up being just a touchback, right? Or they have to go. Prospects go 80 yards down the field if they get the ball here. So. But they've done it before, so we'll keep that in mind. Huge 4th and 5. Narot looking to pass. He's under pressure and will be taken down for the sack. That's number 34, Brock Wordy. And so it's going to be a turnover on downs, and the Knights will start with the ball on the 25-yard line.
That's brutal for the Huskies. We've seen 2 defensive stops from the Knights already this game. Huskies only forced 1 defensive stop.
And that just looked like a blown-up play. He had Jenkins to the outside, but I don't think that would have gotten Jenkins the first down.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing he could do there. All of his receivers were covered, and he just tried to scramble and wasn't able to.
Donnelly, the ball carrier, will be taken down 2 yards shy of the first down marker. So nice pickup there by Donnelly. Second and 2. Handoff once again to Donnelly. Donnelly picks up the first down. Can't get much more. Shaden Georgakakis with the tackle. And so it's 6:36 remaining. Prospect slowly moving downfield. And this is a huge possession here for the Knights. Though the Huskies do get the ball second half. So, hypothetically, if the Knights score, Huskies comeback score, drain enough clock so that Knights don't get another possession. Could get interesting here. Caccini looking to pass. He's under pressure and will be tackled by Ryan Sather, the junior, coming up with the big tackle. Not a sack. Caccini will pick up 2, so making it 2nd and 8.
I think if our D-line can explode here, if we can really get some pressure on the QB, get this run offense just stopped, the Huskies will be in pretty good zone.
A jump right there for the Huskies, but once again, play wasn't set, so no flag. A handoff now to Donnelly. Donnelly with room to the outside, and Donnelly has a lot of space. He's at the 30, and will be pushed out of bounds just before the 30 by Zell Walton. And just way for Donnelly to read where that Hersey defense was. Cut to the outside, find space. And now they're in Hersey territory.
Ryan has just thrown a foam football
I tried to pick up a foam football into our booth.
He is going for a headshot.
Caccini with the pitch to Gertis, and Gertis nailed by this Hersey defense.
Wentink on the tackle, and Drew Frank.
Drew Frank and Tyler Wentink on the tackle. Be brought down at about the 30-yard line, so a short gain on the trick play. 2nd and 7. And I think now we're still looking at 4-down territory here, so the Knights with an 8-point lead. They want to extend this lead with 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Another audible from the prospect coaching staff, Dan LaBouffe. Caccini looking to pass. He's looking deep. Passes no good. That was almost caught. I mean, that was Nate Sitchie. Coverage by Peyton Schultz downfield, and that was a tight gap to fit in, but he almost had that. That was a great pass there by Caccini, just a little overreach. I'm losing my papers, they're flying away. 3rd and 7, this Husky crowd getting loud. A huge play here with the handoff to Donnelly, and they've just been going to him all the time on 3rd down because he's been coming up huge for this prospect offense. Another gain of 15 plus. And so the Knights just shy of the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 on the Hersey 12.
This is kind of exactly the opposite how we predicted this game going. We thought the Huskies were going to have the strong runs and Prospect was going to have decent airtime, and it's kind of going the exact opposite.
A handoff now to Donnelly once again on the outside. He's in for the Prospect touchdown.
It looks like they're calling him short, actually. 1 yard to go.
1 yard short, so Donnelly, another powerful rush there, and it's almost got to be for certain that the Knights are going to pick up another touchdown, extending this lead to 14. The tush push will work for the Knights. And so a touchdown, and immediately the Huskies back on their heels in this one. 4 minutes remaining in this first half, though. You got to hope that the Huskies can put together a long drive, drain out the halves, put in a touchdown. Looking back, would you have gone for that field goal now?
I feel like we don't have enough production out of our kickers. We've only ever seen one field goal done in a real game. Tom Nelson goes for a 4th down every time it's available. I'm not too sure what I would pick.
So the kick is up, and it's good.
Severo with the kick. Hersey 6, Prospect 21. 4 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Can the Huskies produce anything before they get the ball back in the second half?
Excuse me, this is the second quarter, not the first quarter.
All right, so your Huskies trailing 21-6 to the Knights. In a back and forth game here, plenty of possessions for both sides. Is it time to give us a little score check?
A little score check across the board. I don't know. It looks like they're going onto the field right now. Got to go quick, Ryan.
We'll go quick here. So Rolling Meadows up 14-0 on Wheeling right now, and a weird score right now. Elk Grove up 3-2 on Buffalo Grove. Again, Max Preps, I'm not 100% sure about their scores all the time, but this is good for me. I'm undefeated right now in my MSL East.
Yeah, and I took BG over Elk Grove, I think. So that's not looking good for me.
After the kick, we'll give you some MSL West scores.
Severo's
kickoff, a line drive kick. That's not even going to be bothered to be returned by Walton. Walton did look like actually he was going to run towards that and pick that up, but he kind of leans back. He almost got drilled by that ball.
I think he saw that ball coming at him, and he's like, this is moving way too fast and not on a good trajectory. It was spinning kind of weird, wobbling. He wanted a good kick there. Oh, that one was one of mine.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. The wind's blowing in pretty heavy in the booth right now, and so our papers are flying.
Our papers are flying all over, yeah.
Barrington up 14-0 on Schaumburg, and Palatine up 6-0 on Fremd. So, Q-Tip, you got your I'm giving you some
You're giving me a run
for your money. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Hoffman Conant, no score. Nara looking deep downfield, and that could be pass interference, but there's going to be no flag on the incomplete pass intended for Riggs. Coverage by number 11.
I don't think it was pass interference because he was going for the ball. There's no clear intention to hit Riggs there. His hands were up in the air going for the ball.
He showed hands and, no pass interference there. 4 minutes remaining. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. And I think the worst case scenario here is you give the Knights the ball back with plenty of time to come down to the field and score to move this score deficit up to 22.
I have a feeling they're going to go to Jenkins here.
Hand off to Jenkins. Jenkins can't get much on that one. He's going to be brought down for about a 1-yard gain, making it 3rd and 9. Maybe 3rd and 8 is what the referee official is calling. Huskies need a first down here, or else they may be in trouble. Nara looking to pass. Finds Wentick, but the pass is broken up by number 22, Joseph LeBeau. He had an interception last week, and that one was just off his fingertips. An excellent read right there by the prospect defense.
Wow.
So the Huskies has no other choice but to punt with 3 minutes remaining in this one, and you can't let the Knights score here. Low snap to Mao, but he's going to get it off with a short kick that takes a prospect bounce, but rolls back towards the Hersey now. And the Hersey parents are saying that a prospect player touched the ball, but no call there from the refs. So,
do the refs have to signal when the other team touches the ball?
What's the play I think there? They throw a blue flag if indicating that it could be a turnover, but. The Hersey parents are seated directly underneath us, so high emotions. This is the most I've heard them really complain about calls and stuff so far. 1st and 10, prospect already in Hersey territory. And what a tackle there by Sather, bringing Donnelly down at about the line of scrimmage, assisted by George Kakis on that one. And so they're going to say it's going to be a gain of 1.
I think if you're the prospect Knights here, you should not throw the ball. 2 minutes left on the clock. You got to make sure the ball doesn't get back into the Huskies' hands. And the running back for the Knights have just been going crazy, the running back core.
Do you think they're in 4-down territory, being in the Hersey side of the field? I mean, Hersey hasn't been able to pick up much on offense. Handoff once again to Donnelly, and Sather reads it again. So Hersey defense switching up how they're. This is the first time we see Sather really get into the backfield, get these tackles back-to-back, similar plays for the Huskies, and I got to imagine they switched up something here. Excellent job by Coach Nelson.
You know, they do have rotations for those D-lines and O-lines. Maybe they just brought some different players in, swapping them in, 3rd down, 4th down. Maybe they got different pass rushers, different edge rushers.
2 minutes left. There is going to be a flag. This is on the Huskies. Zoe Walton pointing towards Prospect here. They're going to say it's going to be a false start on the Knights.
It looks like the snapper jolted the snap. You're not allowed to do that. You have to complete the snap as soon as you move your arms.
So this is huge for the Huskies as they're going to back up 5, making it 3rd and 13. And what do you think? You think we're going to see a pass here, maybe looking for Sitchi, or is Caccini going to run it himself?
I think it's either going to be a Caccini run or another run from
Donnelly.
I don't think it's smart to go for a pass play here with 3rd and 1:50 left on the clock.
Donnelly lined up in the backfield, Sitchi in motion. Caccini rolls out, he finds his receiver, Donnelly. Donnelly still on his feet, but we push out of bounds short of the 1st down line, so it's going to bring up 4th and 5.
They're not bringing a punter on the team, keeping their offense on the field. The Knights are trying to just burn this clock. It looks like it's going to be a timeout from the Huskies? I don't know why they stopped the clock.
Nelson called a timeout just so they can give themselves a little more time when they hopefully get the ball back here if it's a punt. However, things will start to get interesting if they keep their offense out there. And so far, it doesn't look like anybody on this special team is coming out there for the Knights or for the Huskies. This might be a hard start type scenario, take the delay of game. So 1:33 remaining, 4th and 7. Ball on the Hersey 42. The Knights up 21-6. We've seen a lot of action in this one, a lot of offense, a lot of defense, some big plays down the stretch there by Sather. Just brought up 4th and 7 here.
It's been great from the Husky defense. Can they keep it together for one more play? They get the ball back with a minute left on the clock, and that's just a maybe.
4th and 7. This Prospect offense still out there. Are they going to try to draw the Huskies off sides, or are they going to go for a play? The Huskies rushing 3.
Calling an audible. They didn't see any movement from the linebacker or the safeties. They're changing the play to make sure the receivers have room.
This place is getting loud. The snap, but he's going to punt it. So Caccini with the punt.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Gonna
I was
roll out
really
for a
not
touchdown.
expecting.
You know, we used to run that with
confusing
Nara.
punt.
That scared me though because Sitchi got back there. You know, he could have downed that at the 1 yard line, but he kind of let up there. It's kind of an effort play that you like to highlight right there, but does not make that play, which saves the Huskies.
That was
down
the
20
most
yards.
confusing punt I've ever seen.
Yeah, I got scared at first. I'm like, oh no, they're going for it. But then
Because I didn't see any movement from the receivers. The O-line kind of just let him have it, and then he punted.
the Huskies used to pull off that play a lot last year, so I feel like I should have recognized that. But
They've got a minute and 26 seconds left on the clock. What can Narot and company do?
basically called a 2-minute drill here. But a little less here. Nara looking to pass. Looking deep. He's got Austin Schultz wide open, but just slightly overthrown.
You know, I don't know that I'd call that wide open. That was great route running from Schultz. He had 2 DBs on him. I don't think
he had
that was
room on
wide.
them. I think he had room on them, though, so.
Yeah, and that means it's a great placement and a great route from Schultz.
2nd and 10. And now you got a bit of a dilemma. Do you just drain out clock to end this
No,
first,
you have to
or do
go
you
for it,
for
I feel like. I feel like you have to. If you drain out the clock, not only would the parents be mad, I think I'd be a little disappointed.
Narot fakes the handoff, looking for his receiver. He's under pressure. He rolls out. He's got to throw this ball away. And he does.
That's probably going to be intentional grounding.
No, he was out of
Anywhere
the pocket.
near.
So avoids the sack.
Oh, yeah, that was no intentional grounding. My bad.
Brings up 3rd and 10. And, smart play by Narrot, throwing that one away, avoiding the sack, which could have made it 3rd and 20.
And it stops the clock. And it stops the clock.
That's not that good, but it's not, okay, it could be good, could be bad the way you look at it, but I don't see that as that good because now we get, with still a minute left, Prospect has plenty of time to make something happen here. 3rd and 10, a little more than a minute remaining. Narrot looking to pass. He is under pressure and will throw it away, avoiding the sack. The offensive line crumbled there, and so excellent pressure there by the Prospect D-line. Narrot looking for a last-ditch attempt to throw away that ball and couldn't find his receiver, so just tosses it towards the Hersey sideline.
Mao coming in again for his 3rd punt of the night. That's the 3rd defensive stop from the Knights and only 1 defensive stop on the Husky side.
One minute and 5 seconds left. Mao's kick, the line drive kick, going to be brought back, returned by number 4, Kemp. Gordon Kemp, with room, going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So a good return there, brings up plenty of opportunities for the Knights with 55 seconds left. .55 seconds remaining in this one. First quarter here, 1st and 10. Huskies looking to come up with the stop. It's going to be a handoff to Donnelly. Donnelly picks up about 2 on that one. A good tackle there by the Hersey defense, and so damage will be limited. Donnelly's slow to get up. Timeout's going to be called by the Huskies. Or sorry, timeout's going to be called by the Knights. Say it's going to be 2nd and 9.
Looks like the Knights are trying to go for something here, calling a timeout there. They want time on the clock for their offense. They got 40 seconds and only 30 yards to go.
So the Prospect offense jogs back onto the field with 48 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Ball's on the Hersey 33. What do we think we're going to see on this here?
I think they're going to go for it this time. I think we're finally going to see a passing play, and, the Huskies are going to intercept it as they normally do.
Sitchy hasn't had many receptions, only that first dump-off pass in this one. You got to imagine they're going to look for him, maybe on a 3rd or 4th down situation here. I believe they're also in 4-down territory as well. Caccini rushes. He's going to actually toss one down to Sitchy, who's going to pick up the 1st down. So Caccini under pressure.
That was Gordon Kemp, by the
Kemp,
way.
sorry. Kemp on the reception. Caccini moving around that Hersey defensive line and finds Kemp across the middle, giving the Knights the 1st down. Time ticking away, though, as we tick down to 30 seconds. Caccini rolls out to the left. He's looking deep to Sitchy. There was some contact there, but there's going to be no flag thrown, so excellent coverage by Zell Walton.
We've seen that from Zell Walton all game. I feel like on the defensive plays that the Huskies have had, either Zell Walton or Ryan Sather has been involved on almost every single one of them.
Now, do you think down the stretch the Knights go for a field goal?
I don't really see why not. They're up 21-6, 20 seconds on the clock.
So far, a 2-possession game. Could make it a 3-possession game. Pass outside now to number 16. Jacob Sutton. Jacob Sutton with the reception gets a big pickup, moving the Knights down to about the 10-yard line. So with 22 seconds here, Knights pick up the 1st and 10, and yeah, it's a whole different game if the Knights score here. Ball on the 11, Caccini. Donnelly. Think they're going on the ground here, Q-Tip, or they put Kemp in motion, and it's going to be a jet sweep to Kemp. Kemp with plenty of room to the outside. He trips and he fumbles the ball. The Huskies pick up the fumble. Kemp tripped over his own feet. And
They're calling him down.
they're going to call it Hersey possession. So a huge mistake by Kemp. And with 16 seconds left, the Huskies get the ball. You know, I don't know how much time they're going to have here to do something, but that really changes this game here. You know, now keeps it at hopefully 2 possessions before halftime, but
They just waved off Jake Narod. They're not even bringing their quarterback onto the field.
so they're going to confirm it's Huskies ball here, but a bit of miscommunication between the coaching staffs of both teams and the referees here, but they're going to say it's Hersey ball. Timeout called by Prospect.
The Huskies are waving off Jake Narod. What do you think this means? They're going back into defense. They're calling them down. No fumble, not Huskies ball, Prospects ball at the 10-yard line.
The ref pointed twice that it was a...
I thought he was down. I'm pretty sure I called it saying he was down. But I don't, like, is that how it works? He dropped the ball
but the
first.
referee indicated that it was going to be a Husky ball. Twice.
They also said he was down, though, so I don't really know
There's
what
a
the
whistle
play
now
is.
by the refs, so still not sure what's going on here. I think we're going to get a timeout from the Huskies. So 2nd and 5, ball on the 7. We're all a little puzzled what's going on up here in the booth, but that doesn't matter. Hersey remains on defense. So what could have been a huge mistake and a huge play.
I feel like it was. That definitely should be a fumble. I don't know what the call is there.
Yeah,
I saw them call him down, but maybe his knee was down before he dropped the ball. I don't know how that works in high school. If the knee is down, is he down without a touch?
I don't know. I thought Kemp dropped the, just clean dropped. He tripped over his own feet and dropped the ball there, but
And it
I don't
looks
know.
like the Huskies did jump on it, so I don't know what the play call is there. Luke Casey could have come away with a taken fumble there. That's really confusing. They called him down. It's going to be Prospects ball.
.16 seconds remaining. 2nd and 5. Huge play coming up here for both sides. Donnelly moves to the outside. Caccini looking to pass. Caccini has his target, and it's caught. Touchdown, Knights. That's number 16, Quinton Loken.
Jacob Sutton.
Jacob Sutton.
They have two number
There's two 16s on
One's
this
only
team.
on defense, one's only on offense. Really confusing for us up in the box.
And so a huge touchdown here by the Knights. This moves it to a 3-possession game. And it's very unfortunate here for the Huskies as they're down a huge deficit going into halftime. The kick is no good. It's a doink. And so the Prospects kick, the extra point. That hit that field goal post hard. It's still shaking. I've never seen a kick like that before.
It actually came down and Georgia Kakis called it. Georgia Kakis caught it.
That wouldn't count as a catch
I know,
though, because
but
it would have technically left play.
On an interception on a 2-point conversion, you're allowed to take it back and score the 2 points. Am I correct?
Yes.
So how does that work on field goals? Are you
Well,
allowed
so
to
on a
catch it?
field goal, I think you can catch it if it's short. But because it hit the post,
Yeah,
that
it might just
technically
be
means it went out
play.
of bounds.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so
Huskies have 10.9 seconds
They could, a kick return or something could be big here, but unfortunately, if this one goes out of bounds, I don't think Narot has the arm to throw some 80-yard Hail Mary touchdown pass. Maybe we'll see some laterals. In a perfect world, you throw 2 routes going to the outside.
With 10 seconds on the
With
clock?
10 seconds left, you just dish one off to Wentick or Riggs, who goes out of bounds at about a 50, and then you're maybe talking about some Hail Mary type play. The Huskies could score here. That would obviously be huge, not only momentum-wise, but also in terms of limiting the score. This ball is going to be drilled out of the back of the end zone. So the Huskies will start at the 20-yard line with 10 seconds remaining. Palatine Frem now tied at 6. Barrington up big, 21-0 on Schaumburg.
What's that EG score?
Yeah, I'm trying to check that one right now.
VBG. EG.
Elk Grove's up
VBG.
10-2.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is huge.
No.
Meadows up 35-0. We have no score yet on the Mount Carmel Fenwick game. And so the Huskies just going to sit on the ball and end this first half. They're going to head into the locker room down 21. So, I'm going to switch on over now to us in the booth. All right, so your Huskies trailing 27-6. Back-to-back scoring for both sides, but the Knights have exploded on offense since then. A couple strong runs there by Caccini, Donnelly, and then that touchdown grab late in this first half there. Q-Tip, what stood out to you the most about this game?
I kind of actually liked the way the Husky offense was moving. I know there were a lot of balls thrown out of bounds and a lot of incompletions, but we had that one to the corner to Wentink that was just over the shoulder, hard to reel in. We had one deep ball to Schultz that he couldn't quite get to. I think if we could tone down on these balls, maybe a little bit easier to catch, maybe our receivers have more room, maybe a different play call,
Yep.
We've kind of been on the outside all game long, maybe throwing down the middle, easy slant, Josh Riggs. I think that our offense really has a chance of bringing this game back. It's just going to be a really heavily dependent on our defense.
Yeah, a couple huge incompletions, controversial calls. Nevertheless, Huskies down 21 as we transition into halftime. Once again, I'm Ryan Antonucci, joined here by Quentin Bursch. We'll be back for some second half football. All right, welcome back to Goins Stadium for some second half of Hersey versus Prospect. Once again, I'm Ryan Antonucci, joined here by Quentin Bergen. Your Huskies are trailing 27-6 to the Knights. You know, we've seen strong offensive plays from both teams. We've seen strong defense from both teams. You know, Huskies have held the Knights twice, yet the Knights still able to get 27 up on the board due to a couple 3-and-outs from the Huskies. What do the Huskies need to do to change this game going into the second half?
You know, the train is not totally off the rails yet. They still can build momentum. They still can get back on the rails. I think it's going to be a defensive game from now on. Can we stop the Knights? Can we get more possessions for the Huskies? We're only down by 3 possessions. That sounds like a lot in football, but realistically, if the Knights could take 4 in this first half, we could take 5, you know?
Yeah.
I think we can get these possessions back, and I think the Huskies still have a chance to win this game.
All right, your Huskies are going to start with the ball the second half in a minute. We'll begin. All right, we're moments away here from kickoff. Your Huskies once again trailing by 21. They start with the ball though, so do you think if we put together some offensive drive here, get a touchdown, it's all of a sudden a 2-possession game, get a stop, 1-possession game, and then we're tied.
Exactly,
So,
that's what I'm trying to say here. Like, we're really not too far off the tracks yet. We could still get put back on them, and we still got a chance. We just need to push through. Chugga, right?
But what also, the Huskies have not scored that much in the second half. That's a mix of playing weaker components and also that Warren game, week 1. The Huskies really struggled on offense. That's what ended up making them lose the game. You know, a big lead going into halftime, which they ended up losing it late in this game. But this could happen the opposite way too, right? Prospect, strong offensive first half. Now, I think our defense has looked a lot stronger throughout the course of this game. Had the chance to talk it over in the locker room, and now it could be a whole new game here as the kick will be booted out of bounds once again. Frustration by Walton and Schultz, the 2 returners who are yet to even touch the ball.
Yeah, that ball is gone.
Giselle Walton almost touched the ball when he got drilled by that kickoff early in this game, but Huskies going to get to work on the 20-yard line. The Huskies, no turnovers, which is, I think, been a very key part of this game so far.
Jake Narwat has never thrown an interception this game or this season. He only had 1 throw in his last season, and it was an interception. So just the kid, the progress he's made, what a stud.
Narwat with the handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins getting to the outside. He has room along the sideline. He throws up the stiff arm, but will be pushed out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. So once again, Jenkins just using his legs, getting to the outside, running around this Prospect defense, and, well, turning nothing into something. This will set up 2nd and 4 off the 6-yard run by Jenkins. Narwat, another handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins has room up the middle. He will get tripped up, but will pick up the first down. Ball down at the 35-yard line.
We see some movement here from the Huskies. You know, the run game hasn't been very strong for them this game, but
I'd actually argue the strong game has looked pretty.
You think so?
It's drive by drive. I feel like it switched, right?
Yeah.
You know, first drive weak, second drive looked very strong. A couple other drives weak, but this drive in particular has looked pretty good. Another handoff here to Jenkins. Narwat wanted to take that himself, but Jenkins brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a loss of 5. I honestly think Narwat should have taken that himself on the play option.
I think he was kind of trying to hold it, it looks like.
Yeah.
He didn't want Jenkins to take it, but Jenkins wanted it. And this Prospect defense is looking feisty. They're all at the line of scrimmage, and they're all there to hop on Jenkins. Maybe a pass play could have been the route there.
2nd and 13. Ball on the Hersey 32. Hersey really trying not to punt here. They're already down 3 possessions. Narot now looking over the middle. Caught by Wilder. Wilder still on his feet. Picks up a couple extra yards after contact. And Wilder a little slow to get up there. He was kind of thrown down to the turf, but just that bully ball, right? Those high balls thrown for Wilder over the middle, and he's just reaching up, grabbing those balls.
Hey,
and
I kind of said it before. I wanted to see more balls in the middle. We see him. That swarm prospect was on him, but there was nobody on him as he caught the ball. You know, I think the middle of this prospect defense is kind of a gap for them.
Throwing a little tight end attack at this prospect team. Another pass. He's looking for Schultz. Schultz off his hands. And there was some contact there, but they're going to call. There's going to be no flag there.
That is so surprising that
Michael Foley,
I
number
feel like
12,
should be
the
pass
junior, on the
interference.
coverage. Austin Schultz. It's the second ball just off his fingertips there. And I believe that was another good pass there by Narot. I'd like to mention about Narot, he's picked up a couple more offers since we've last talked. He's now got offers from Northwestern and Mizzou. Mizzou being the most recent. So he could end up with Carson Grove at Northwestern. Would be pretty interesting. The handoff now to Jenkins. Jenkins with a short gain there, but it's going to be enough. Stretch this now to third and about 6.
You know, they're bringing
Third
in
and
Luke
7.
Casey now in place of Austin Schultz. I had the time to interview Luke Casey, and Luke Casey told me that his best stat in Madden, if he was a Madden player, would be spectacular catch. Can
Spectacular
he
catch.
make that here for the Huskies? 3rd and 6.
3rd and 7. Narot, nobody to run with. He fires over the middle. It's dropped by Wentink. Was right in his breadbasket, but unable to haul it in. And if I'm the Huskies, I'm going for it on 4th here. You got nothing to lose. Rivalry game already down by a big margin. And you've had some success with the pass game, just a couple notable drops.
I mean, it's just a struggle for the Huskies out here this year. I feel like there's been too many drops to count. I feel like every game we always see a big play that could be, and then it's a drop.
So a huge 4th and long. Ball on the 41. Snap goes to Narot. Narot under pressure, fires over the middle. This time it's caught by Wentink for the first down, so he makes up for the last play with a catch over the middle, and I think this one was a harder catch.
You know, yeah, maybe Wentink likes the pressure. It seems like there was somebody actually on him this time, forced him to make the catch. He knew he had to secure this one. Wentink could be one of those guys that loves the pressure.
Maybe he's the spectacular catch attribute there.
I mean,
anyway,
Wentink
Huskies
did tell me his best stat would just be catching.
catching.
But Luke Casey told me that his best attribute would be spectacular catch.
fun.
So, you know, two good receivers out there lined up together.
Handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins has room and will be taken down past the 20-yard line. So Jenkins, way to find that gap, cutting through and picking up
it'll
the
move
first
the
down.
chains.
Yeah, they're going to move the chains on that one. I thought that was a little short, like a yard or two, but moving the chains, and where the Huskies were way back on their heels, they were cornered. But now they're in scoring position. It's 1st and 10. Ball on the Knights 18. And Huskies are in the red zone. Wilder in motion. A pass outside to Jenkins, caught. Jenkins moving to the outside. He's still on his feet, just shy of the first down yard line. But a little dump off pass there to Jenkins. And picks up some good yardage. You know, I've seen a lot of these plays where the Huskies are passing behind the line of scrimmage and then picking up the extra yardage afterwards. And it's been working for these Huskies. I'm surprised they haven't gone with it more. Second and 3. Now once again looking to pass. He's under pressure. He finds his receiver. Caught in the end zone. Luke Casey with the spectacular catch in the end zone. And your Huskies are back on the board.
You know, maybe that's the motion they needed. We saw in week 1 against Warren, Luke Casey had like a 65-yard catch, diving spectacular catch. Luke Casey is great on those diving catches. He knows how to reel it into his chest. Great hands from the kid. Casey, what a beast out there.
The Huskies lining up to kick the extra point, and all of a sudden they're back in this one. Mao looking to make his first extra point of the game. Let's see what he can do here. This is a crucial extra point. The snaps, the hold, the kick is up, and it's good for Mao. So, as Q-Tip likes to call him, Money Mao.
They called it no good.
They called it no good?
No good on the kick.
I thought that went through the uprights. Well, no good on the kick. I thought that looked pretty. I thought that looked pretty good. That looked good.
I thought it went straight through.
The special teams continues to be an issue for the Huskies here, and that's just those types of plays, just crucial momentum swings.
I don't know what happened there.
I really thought that looked like it was right through the middle, and we actually have a pretty decent angle on it here. I mean, it clearly the refs have the better sight than I do, but because I like to see like if it crosses in front of the other post, and it did. I didn't see it.
Well, it's kind of above the field goal.
You gotta wonder if the Huskies score again, are they just gonna start turning to 2-point conversions? Because now they're behind the chase once again with this.
And now it's back to a 3-score lead.
Yeah, well, no, it's still 2 scores, but it requires the 2-point conversion.
2-point conversions.
So what could have been 14, now 15. And Mao hasn't. He's a sophomore on this team. He hasn't really faced the pressure of a really strong special teams unit, and I would argue that Prospect does.
I don't know what happened there. It really looked like it was good.
So Foster for the kickoff. I wonder if they'll turn to Foster here. This one's going to be kicked inbounds, and it's going to be returned. I believe that's Gertis with the return, who's going to be tackled just past the 30-yard line. Oh, the ball's loose! But I believe the Knights have jumped on it. The Huskies pointing that it's going their way, but they're going to let off. Fumble going to be recovered by number 34, Brock Wordy. We've called his name a couple times today with the key fumble recovery off that one. I don't know who punched that one out.
We need a stop here from the Huskies if they want a chance in this game. This is not looking great for the Huskies. They still are in it, though, have no doubt. Jack Mao missing field goals today is not a highlight of his season. Only 3 missed field goals for the whole season, and 2 of them come from this game.
Caccini's going to take it himself. Bernard in pursuit. Caccini runs over Walton and picks up the extra yardage. So another first down for the Knights. Still in Prospect territory. But those are just the type of plays that the Huskies want to stop if they want to have any chance of coming back in this one. We're about halfway through this third quarter, 7 minutes left. The Knights up 27-12 on the Huskies, but, forcing a punt here, and the Huskies could be right back in this one. The handoff now to Donnelly. Donnelly finds space. He breaks through. Donnelly with plenty of space in front, and he will be brought down at the 15-yard line. So once again, this Prospect rushing game, very strong.
Jenkins was really slow to get up there, and he held his leg. I think he's cramping right now.
Yeah, but Jenkins is up and moving, so I think we're all good on that. But this is what the Huskies have been struggling with all game. These big pickups here by Donnelly, and frankly, run defense has been a problem all season, and it's just being exemplified here tonight. Another handoff. No, sorry, Caccini's going to take this himself. He faked me out, and he will be brought down just shy of the 5-yard line. So another good pickup there by the Prospect offense. So a little bit of a hold-up here for this Prospect offense, trying to get an audible from this coaching staff. Ball on the 8, 2nd and 7. I don't think that's 2nd and 7. I believe that's 2nd and closer. Our scoreboard says 2nd and 7. I think it's 2nd and 4. A little bit of a hold up here, but Caccini going to take this one himself, and he gets tackled by Bernard Harbor, who bursts through the Prospect offensive line. It's an excellent play by Harbor in this Knights D line, in the Hersey D line. And that's going to set up 3rd and about 5. So very manageable, and you also have to imagine 4-down territory. And the Knights looking to extend this lead to 21. The pitch off to Donnelly. Donnelly picks up the first down and more, but he will be tackled just shy of the end zone, ball at about the 1-yard line. Drew Frank with the tackle. Once again, a little bit of delay here. You got to imagine they're just trying to draw time. Closing down on 4 minutes in this 3rd quarter. Ball's on the 2. It's 1st and goal. This time, Caccini's going to take it himself and reach in for the Knights touchdown. So Prospect adds to their lead, making it 33-12. Back to 3-possession game. The Orange Crush starting to file out here early in this game. So a big boost early on with the touchdown to open up the second half, but the Knights quickly respond with two huge rushing plays by Caccini and by Donnelly. The kick is up, and it's good. It's good. So
We're making sure this
just
time.
making sure. I almost pre-called it, but I have to make sure. So this makes it 34-12. And it's a 22-point margin that the Huskies have 16 minutes to overcome. And that's not impossible. I've seen teams do it before, but it's going to start with some offense, moving the ball down the field quickly, and defensive stopping the run game.
We are desperately need something from the defense.
All right, 4:15 remaining in this 3rd quarter. 34-12. The Knights are in the lead. That's your score for tonight's game. Once again, we thank all of you for tuning in. And next week, this sets up a huge game between Meadows and Hersey. Meadows, they played this Prospect team tight. Now, Prospect did mention that it wasn't their best game, but it would be an issue if the Huskies fall to 3-2 in conference play. It'd be one of the first times in a long time that's happened. Another line drive kick that's unfieldable by this return team. And that'll set up the Huskies once again at the 20-yard line. Yeah, I feel like we're kind of speechless up here in the booth. This is not what we expected.
No, this is really unfortunate for the Huskies. Totally on the opposite spectrum of what we were really thinking that was going to come into this game. And
This feels like
great.
a lot like last year's first-round playoff game where the Huskies lost 56-14 against the Knights, and it just felt like no matter what, they just couldn't do the job. But this is the first time that like one of their conference regular season games, Norwood under pressure, he just tosses the ball away, avoiding the sack. And this D-line for the Knights really getting through this Husky O-line here as this sets up 2nd and long. As I was saying, you know, most of the time these two teams face off in the regular season, it's very back and forth. If you remember last year, Knights won 30-27, but that was a very tight game. Obviously, my freshman year, that game went into double overtime, or triple overtime, I think. That had to be the most exciting football I've ever seen. And sophomore year, so 2 years ago, that game was pretty low scoring, but the Huskies were up by 2 scores for most of the game. Narot with the handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins trying to get anything going for this Husky offense. He gets tackled forward for a good gain. So way to pick up some extra yards there after the contact. This will set up a 3rd and 4. Do you think they go for it on 4th in their own territory, just trying to scratch for anything?
I think Tom is going to. You know, I think he really wants to win this game, and if they want to win it, they got to go for it.
Third and 4. Huskies on their own 26. Norot drops back to pass under pressure, tosses it out to Jenkins. Jenkins tackled at about the line of scrimmage, so they're not going to pick up the first down here, and now Coach Nelson is left with a decision.
You know, I think Narot really thought he had pressure there, but he didn't. The O-line kind of stepped back. They reeled in the blocks, and Narot threw it away way too quick.
And a Hersey player is down. I believe that is number 2.
Jenkins.
Brandon Jenkins.
I was talking about his cramp earlier. I swear I saw him cramped, and looks like he's cramping again.
This would be a really bad loss for the Huskies if this is anything serious, but we have to right now hope you're right, Q-Tip, in assessing that this is just a cramp.
The way they're stretching it out, it really does look like a cramp. It doesn't look like anything worse, so we're hoping he's okay and nothing bad happened to him down there. He should be getting up. If Jenkins is out of this game, their 2nd-string running back, Jackson Travis, tore his ACL previously in about last week, I think he was telling me about it. We see him on the sidelines right now in crutches. This is not looking good for the RB core of the Huskies.
Yeah,
Will Chaden, Georgia Caucus come in? Will Zell Walton come in? Who is up next on the roster sheet?
They probably turn to Chaden right now.
Either
I would think
Chaden or Zell.
We saw him run a couple times against Barrington. That was a road game when Jenkins was on the bench. But
Jenkins walking off the field without help.
Yeah, walking up without help, but walking very, very slowly off the field right now.
You got to imagine the pain he's feeling. One of the most spirited players on this team. He was really looking forward to this Huskies Knights game. He said he wanted to win. He was going to take it home for the team, and now he's coming off the field with a hamstring injury, yet to be determined.
So hopefully in the next couple minutes we'll find out Jenkins'
situation. It looks like
situation.
Chaden is on the field. I do see a number 4. Do not see Zell Walton up there. We'll see what Georgia Caucus can do for this Huskies
Jenkins
offense.
has really been the strong point of the Hersey offense and defense. He almost had that interception.
Oh, yeah,
early
who's
on.
going to come in on defense? Oof.
Yeah, so some interesting decisions to find out here from
I think it'll be Sebastian
coaching
Singleton,
staff.
who is our interception leader.
Still
Tied with Jenkins.
3rd and 4. 3 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. Your Huskies trying to come up with anything here down the stretch. Narot under pressure again. Throws up a ball to Wow, which is caught. Caught that. What a catch with one hand off the back of the prospect receiver. There is a flag, which they're going to say, I assume that's going to be pass interference.
What
on the Knights.
Catch! That's
Wow.
his 3rd over-the-top catch.
That
of the
wasn't even
night.
over the catch. That was off
just
the
insane.
back of the prospect
And
defender.
I actually saw the communication from Nara out there. We could see him pointing at
Yeah.
Weiler to get open, and then he just throws it up. He's like, "What else can I do?"
I do
Weiler
want to
reels
mention,
it in.
Nara has done an excellent job today with pressure, rolling out, finding his receivers. As a junior, that communication right there is going to come in big time, especially down the stretch in this season. And he finds Wilder, which is really a good momentum play here. We're still in this third quarter. Anything can happen. Nelson talking with with the referee staff
They have
here.
yet to move the chains. A little bit of confusion on the field. They put the ball down, but the chains are not being moved.
Ball spotted at the 40. I'm not really
Pass interference on the defense. Incomplete pass, redo first down. I guess they're just taking it.
They're going to say pass interference on defense, but since Wilder made the catch,
declining it.
they're going to decline it.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
point. Pad Wilder's stats there with the catch, because it wouldn't count as a catch if he...
Yeah, exactly. I had it the opposite way.
But 2:47 remaining, first and 10.
What a snag from Wilder.
What a catch. That is going to end up on the highlight reel for this one. Narot hands it off.
Georgia Caucus.
Georgia Caucus with a powerful run right there, putting his head down. Cam Scadaboo.
I think that's what the Huskies needed right now. You know, Jenkins does have that breakaway speed. He can find gaps, but can he push through other players? Yes, he can, but not as well as Chaden Georgia Caucus. Georgia Caucus is a beast out there. He has a TikTok page where he posts about his weightlifting.
Really? The Huskies looking for a little life here on 2nd and 2. Still in their own territory. Narot's going to hand it off to Georgia Caucus again, who gets swarmed. And they're going to march him short.
That was definitely a late hit. I don't know what's going on there on the field.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of the Huskies fans complaining about some calls here.
And maybe it's just because we're down points. Maybe these are not great calls.
This is going to set up 3rd and inches. Here the Huskies just have to take this one play at a time. But you also have to know that clock's ticking down. Hand off to Georgia Caucus, who finds room up the middle, plowing through this defense, drops the shoulder. And what a play right there by Shaden. Georgia Caucus picking up the first down and more.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to point out. You know, Georgia Caucus can really plow through this defense, trucking 2 players there, gaining so many yards. Georgia Caucus coming in, being great, stepping up to his position, and we just see why this this Husky team is so deep on the amount of players they can bring onto this field.
And we did mention preseason that depth would be a problem, but not showing today. Another handoff to Shaden with room still on his feet, and he gets tackled down at about the 30-yard line. So Georgia Caucus bringing some life to this Husky offense here, and they're now getting deeper into getting deeper into Knights territory. You know, I'm hoping that the Huskies can pull up a score before the end of this third quarter as time ticks away. We're at 40 seconds now. Ball on the Knights 31, 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard rush. Wilder shifts over to the right. Narot rolls out to pass. He's looking deep. He has Riggs wide. And it's almost intercepted.
You know, that throw just didn't have the velocity we thought it did. Coming out of the hands, we both thought Riggs was wide open in the end zone, and the ball just didn't drop as quick as we thought it would.
Gave a little too much time for that Knights secondary to get back there and almost come up with the interception, but that'll stop the clock with 23 seconds left in this third quarter. Sets up 3rd and 2. So that almost could have been a disastrous play. I mean, I would think that ices this game for the Knights if that was an interception right there. But Huskies still with possession. Handoff to Shaden. More room up the middle. And this O-line's looking much stronger. Open up these holes here for Georgia Caucus.
You know, it could just be that thing I was talking about. Georgia Caucus is not scared to truck through these defense, and he knows he can. And he's really just been finding any gap he can, plowing through like a tractor.
Like a tractor. All right. This third quarter is going to come to, Narot gets a quick snap. Pass outside to Riggs. Riggs with room. He cuts through the middle, still on his feet, and now your Huskies are within the 10 as we go to your fourth quarter. So 34-12 is the score, but the Huskies set up in 1st and goal. A touchdown here could limit the score now to
two-score.
15.
Back to a two-score.
You gotta wonder if they score here, will they go for 2 now or will they push it off? I mean, the Huskies yet to make an extra point. What do we think, Q-Tip?
I mean, we thought they were going to go for 2 earlier. We have Mao missing 2 out of 2 for this game, only missing 3 the whole season, 2 of them being from this game. It's like, what can you do when your kicker's struggling and you don't have full trust in your 2-point conversions? Maybe it's not totally practiced. We haven't seen a lot of them from the Huskies. I don't know what the play is here, to be honest with you. I'd be kind of dumbstruck. Everybody is leaving in the student
Husky
section.
fans have really filed out. There's almost, it's like half a section left now. But the Huskies are about to score here, so we're a little confused about the commitment of our Hersey fan base. You always hate to see it. Meanwhile, Knights section still up and strong. There's still plenty of time. So the Huskies taking the field for the fourth quarter. They're on their last life. No more lifelines left.
I don't know. I feel like Georgia Kakis was a pretty good
Georgia
lifeline.
Kakis was the phone a friend. You know. They didn't get the 50-50. The 50-50 balls thrown.
I don't know. They had
Oh, maybe with that Wilder one.
one-handed behind the back.
So they have some of those. What's the other one in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's phone a friend, 50-50. What is the other one? Does our producer know? It's for Who Wants to... We have a play. Sorry. Shaden's run up the middle. Not going to amount to much. We were mentioning in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, it's phone a friend, 50-50. But what's the
Isn't
third
it like
one?
Ask a Professional?
I don't think that's how... Oh, okay, well, Emily doesn't help us that much. Don't you know from like Slumdog Millionaire? We used to watch that
Everybody
on AP
knows
Gov.
Slumdog Millionaire.
They play Who Wants to Be a... All right, well, Durkin is not cultured, so we are unaware of... so we will not know. Guess it'll just remain a mystery as a Husky player is down right now, so we are...
This time it looks like it's Georgia Kakis, so this running back room on the Huskies is just struggling.
But Jenkins comes back in. You see him in the huddle now.
Maybe
so
he got that cramp smoothed out. They put a little massage gun on it. Jenkins all heated up, ready to come back into this game.
It looks like it's another leg issue here for Georgia Kakis, but gotta admit, it looks like they're working on his leg as well. Hopefully just a cramp, but once again, we don't really know.
He needs to eat more bananas.
What do bananas do?
You haven't heard that one MLB player interview where he goes like, what do you do? And he goes, oh, I cramp. And then he goes, why don't you ever cramp? And he goes, I eat bananas.
Is that scientifically proven that bananas
I have no clue.
heal
I'm pretty sure
cramping?
potassium stops your cramping.
It sounds right. I mean, I know. So Georgia Kakis walking off, once again, unassisted. Just a little slight limp.
Seem like cramps.
Yeah, I think they're both cramps. This is exactly what we saw with Jenkins, and Jenkins was able to come in. Well, now he's in. I don't think they're going to run with Jenkins right away, though. I would think that they're going to look through the air with Narrat. Who is our fourth running back? Is it
Zell Walton?
Zell Walton? It was Ben Martin last year for a good chunk of time.
This year it is Zell Walton.
So if they may turn to Walton. Well, we won't know, but right now Jenkins on the field. Handoff right away to Jenkins, and Jenkins has room to the outside. He trucks the front line of Knights defense and gets in for the touchdown. So injury, no problem, as Jenkins picks up the touchdown. First play back. 11:30 remaining in this fourth quarter, and your Huskies have cut down the lead to 16 here. Let's see if they're going to keep the offense out there, which it looks like they are. So this is a key 2-point conversion if they decide to go for it here. If they're unable to convert, this keeps it at a 3-score game. Well, okay, it could be 2 scores with 2 2-point conversions, but it's basically a 3-point game.
You know, I think Jenkins heard me talking about him not trucking anybody, so he goes in there and trucks it for the touchdown.
Yeah, he just put down the helmet. I didn't see who that Knights defender was, but
it was
Labou. Yes, he's had a strong game defensively for the Huskies, for the Knights, but.
And Labou looks slow to get up. It looked like he got the wind knocked out of them. Helmet to chest right there, which is technically illegal, but I don't really know how it goes in high school.
So we have a bit of a delay here. I think it's just the Huskies still trying to come up with a play call here. Do you think they're going through the air or on the ground?
I don't think they're going on the ground, to be honest. Or I think Jake's going to take it in the ground. I don't think it's going to Jenkins.
You see a little play option here, a little, maybe it depends how Narat reads it.
All their receivers are lined up on the right. They've got Jenkins deep in the backfield.
Narat looking to pass. He has Jenkins, but no, decides not to throw it. Fires over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Intended target Luke Casey. It looks like he just got shocked by the defenseman right on him.
Yeah, I thought he had Jenkins rolling to the outside for a second.
He waited too long. They read the play.
And I don't think Jenkins was looking. He didn't have his hands up ready to catch that. So Huskies unable to convert. Still a 2-score game, but it would require 2 two-point conversions. So not all hope lost here for the Huskies, but you know, point after attempts have really been the issue here. You know, if we've converted on the 2 extra points and the 2-point conversion, that would make it 22 to 34.
Time on our special teams. What is going on here? This is rare from the Huskies. Normally our kicking has been perfection. Our 2 points, well, we have, I think before this game we had 1 go and 1 did not go. So like I said, it was both iffy.
Is it time for some scores around the league?
I don't know, man. That might just ruin my mood even more.
Elk Grove still up 10-2 on Buffalo Grove. Rolling Meadows up 56-0 on Wheeling. I'm going to check the MSL West here. Boom! Fremd up 13-6. Barrington 42-0 on Schaumburg. We need to see Conan Hoffman, so it's all going to come down to this. If we'll tie, right?
Yeah, if we'll tie, if you get it. If I get it, I win.
The ball goes into the end zone. Foster with another boot. And so Prospect going to set up shop on the 20-yard line, and we need to see something big here from this Hersey defense. A touchdown here pretty much ices this game, I have to imagine. So a stop, a 3 and out. Huskies can get the ball back with about...
And they need both 2-point conversions.
I got to imagine they're going to go on the ground here to Donnelly, who's just been so good. The juniors for this Prospect team really stepping up. They haven't really looked to their D1 commit receiver, Sitchy.
They did take Jenkins out on defense. I believe number 44 came in place.
Caccini rushes again. He finds room to the outside and will be taken down.
In place for Jenkins is Ryan Hefke.
Ryan Hefke, he's been very strong for these Huskies so far. Jack Nolan described him as a dog when I was talking to him earlier this week. He was actually the Defensive Dog of the Week, which are the awards that the Hersey team puts out for their players. They have a special teams offensive defensive dog of the week, and Hafke was the dog of the week.
Well, it could be Nick Jalaka as well. I see 2 new juniors out there that I did not see previously.
Hand off to Donnelly, who will be almost tackled, but still on his feet. He gets into the secondary and will pick up the first down. I thought he was taken down behind the line of scrimmage, but no, they pick up the first down, and the Knights start their drive downfield. Oh, so the other one, one of our viewers sent it in. One of the ones that are for the Who Wants to Be a Billionaire or Millionaire, as Donnelly rushes to the outside, couldn't find room at the middle, and now he has space. There is a flag thrown, and this play is going to come back, and there's a Hersey player down. That was...
Yeah, totally unable to see there. I believe that's Luke Casey.
If you're the Knights.
I can't really tell. I think it is Luke Casey. And that is just totally, Luke Casey has no idea where he's going. What's the word? Unable to defend himself. I forget what the word.
It could be targeting. Could be head contact.
Yeah. What's it? Oh no, it's not unarmed, but it's like undefensible receiver or something.
Thrown.
But it's the opposite because it's defenseless. Yes, defenseless receiver, but it's not on offense. So I don't know what the call is.
Casey's sitting up now. Doesn't look awful, but you know that could warrant an ejection. A play like that.
Totally defenseless. Can't even see where he is.
So this play is going to back up big time, potentially 15 yards. If we're right, we could be wrong. Anyway, as I was saying, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, it's Ask the Audience.
Ask the audience.
Oh, that I feel really. I should know that, but Hersey offense hasn't turned to the audience
because
yet.
all the people that watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I've seen it.
If you're over 40,
Wow, I'm really.
you're offended
Who
by
Wants to Be a
me saying
Millionaire
that.
is one of the better reality game shows.
I'm not sure about that one.
I like Weakest Link. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh my God, dude!
I'm a huge
Somebody
fan of
needs to get Ryan off his grandma's television.
The Match Game.
Wow, the match game.
That's
guys.
a really funny show.
Somebody get Ryan
it's not,
off
it's not,
of his
it's not
grandma's
appropriate all the
television.
time. But what do you like to watch? Like game show, reality TV show wise?
If I have to pick a game show, we're going Family Feud.
Oh, you're so basic.
Don't even call that basic when it's literally the best game show of
I just
all
don't think
time.
Steve Harvey's that funny.
He's not. But the thought of bringing your family on Family Feud?
So this is going to be a 15-yard penalty. Ball's going to back up to where they started the drive. 1st and 25. This actually will really help the Huskies as Luke Casey looks fine. That pass thrown out of bounds. I don't know.
He thought there was a receiver there. He's actually confused. Looks like he thought it was
That
the
could
wrong play.
that could be intentional grounding. Actually, he was still in the pocket. There was not a receiver. I don't even know what was going on there. Cuccini just fires it towards Nelson. There's the flag for intentional grounding. So this will back up even more.
And it looks like Ben Martin comes up in place of Luke Casey.
Frem's taking a 16-6 lead on the
That's huge
on the
for
Pirates
me.
here. I
Huge
really
for
need
me.
this Conant Hoffman score. Any viewers at home want to send in the Conant Hoffman score? That would be greatly appreciated.
It's a big decision maker.
I feel so confident that Hoffman's going to win, but I feel like
But I took Conant.
my bad day is just going to get worse with a Conant win. There's a lot on the line here as my papers continue to fly away. You know, the wind is also kind of a factor here. We're really feeling it up in the
Yeah,
booth.
you know the reason the Huskies aren't doing too well is because
No, I mean more on the Mao kicks early on.
Oh, for sure, that could be a
I mean, could be a
big
factor,
problem.
but not gonna. 3rd and 35. A loss of down due to the
2nd and 35.
no third. They're down and 35.
According to the judge or the referee on the sideline,
really?
it's 2nd.
Well, it should have been a loss of down due to the. And so Cuccini's rush up the middle going to be brought down at about the 20. And they say this sets up 3rd down and. I thought it was a loss of down if you intentionally grounded the
It
ball.
was. They went from 1st to 2nd.
Okay.
Now it's about 3rd and 25. Or 3rd and 25 this time.
3rd and 25. Yeah, we're not really updating the scoreboard here. I don't know what's going on. That's where I like to get my info from in terms of down and distance. The crowd is very confused too because it says 3rd down on the board. It said 3rd down last down, and so they think it's 4th down, but Donnelly looking to pass. He's looking for Sitchy, and that's overthrown. So incomplete pass. This should set up a punt here for the Knights, and with a little less than 10 minutes
And
left,
this
the Huskies can get the
brings
ball.
some hope into the Huskies game.
Brings some hope, but this requires 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. So not saying it's impossible, but it could happen.
The odds are not in our favor.
I would
but
say
they're
there's about
better
a
than they were
4%
2
chance here
seconds
that the
ago.
Huskies can pull this off.
4%? Where'd you get this stat from? I kind of
I'm
like it.
pulling it from my head.
I don't know about 4 though. I feel like we need higher than that.
4. Well, we'll see how this drive starts. It's 4th down. The offense is out there, but they're gonna punt.
Off the back of his own lineman.
Takes a prospect bounce. This one's gonna roll to about the 44.
So how does that punt work? Because it technically punted off the back of his own
Well,
lineman.
the
Are we
ball
allowed?
wasn't dead,
I suppose.
so
yes.
it could roll off the back. Like remember that one where he kicked it off? It was
Yeah,
Niles West.
yeah,
They kicked
yeah.
it off the butt and it
Yeah.
rolled another like 40 yards.
No, I meant like the other side. Like if it hits one of our linemen, are they allowed to go for the ball?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
But I mean the odds of that are
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
rare.
yeah.
Unless it's a block, which then, yeah, prospect can recover it, but that wouldn't help them. I don't know. I want to get a rule check on that. I'm not sure because now I think about it, like, why couldn't you just like target your kicks off the head of somebody so that? All right, but then I don't know. Narot with the handoff to Jenkins. Jenkins immediately swallowed by this prospect D line, and so Jenkins, who's been back in, he's just coming off the touchdown, is unable to pick up anything there. Actually, they're going to say it's a loss of a yard. This brings up 2nd and 11. You know, it's been mixed success so far through the air. Do you think with time ticking away here, we're going to about 8 minutes and 30 seconds, we should be going through the air more?
I mean, I don't know that it has been mixed success. Incomplete passes, sure. 0 interceptions, also sure.
Narot drops back. He has plenty of time. Fires over the middle, and it's going to be caught by Wentink. Tyler Wentink. There is a flag back, and prospects clapping like this play's coming back, and it's going to be a hold on the Huskies. So the gain for the Huskies quickly coming back, and this is now going to set up 2nd and 16.
I did like that motion, though. I've said it before. The prospects' defense has a gap in the middle. If we can get receivers down to the middle, then we get the pass into their hands.
Not sure who the holding on was there, but that completely takes the wind out of the sails of the Huskies.
Wow, coming back 10 yards off of that one. Second and 21.
2nd and 21. Huskies on their own 33. Ref's telling the Huskies to hurry up play here. Nobody in the backfield with Narot. So you got to imagine they're passing here, though. Jenkins runs besides Narot's side. Be weird to run here. It would set up a 3rd and really long. Under pressure is Narot. He dumps it off to Schultz. Schultz has room, and he will pick up the 1st down and more. What a play right there by Schultz. Austin Schultz with the recovery picks up the 1st down, gets pushed out of bounds.
I mean, that could have been a late hit as well. It wasn't a hit, but he's taking him down out of bounds when he already ran out of bounds.
So I feel like we've seen much more physical, less disciplined plays from this prospect team than we have from the Huskies so far.
Schultz is the slot receiver, even though he has less receiving yards than our running back and our tight end, but we see why. He comes in there at the slot, taking yards, getting the much-needed 1st down, 22 yards to gain there. Actually, I believe more.
Yeah, that was more. Narot looking to pass again, finds Riggs again, who will get brought down. There's a flag that is thrown. Hopefully this is on the Knights, but they're going to say it's another hold on the Huskies. So backed up once again. It's going to set up 1st and 20. These mistakes cannot keep piling up for the Huskies.
Another 10-yard bring back. I don't even understand what the parents are saying.
Yeah, they're yelling a lot of stuff right now, but this play going to back up. 8 minutes left in this one, 34-18. The Knights with the 16-point lead. It's 1st and 20. No one beside Narot. Looking to pass again. He has plenty of time. A dump off to Wentink, who will pick up about 10 yards on that one, I would say. Or no, he picked up about 3. Yeah, sorry. I thought where Narot was in position of the ball, I thought I tracked that wrong. But short gain there of about 3. This will set up 2nd and 17.
It's better than 2nd and 20.
It's better than 2nd and 20. You got to imagine they're going to continue to pass. The pass game has been working to success, but Narot doesn't have a lot of time. Over the middle, they find Wilder. Wilder, leaning forward, is unable to get the 1st down. Will be marked about 4 yards shy.
You know, Wilder is a beast, but he just looks out of gas there. I don't know if you saw his feet. He's been catching a lot of balls. He's been out there on every play. He's been blocking. He's been downfield blocking. As a tight end this late in the game, you have got to be gassed, and it looks
Yeah,
like he just
tight
has
end
nothing
has
left
to
in
be
the tank.
one of the most exhausting positions, right? You're blocking, you're catching, sometimes you're blocking and catching.
Sometimes you're going for a 60-yard
yes.
pass. Sometimes you have to block all the way down for 60 yards.
So wow, they're doing an excellent job so far today. A couple receptions for him, I believe 3. Norrot instructing his players, but instead he picks up the first down with his feet. You know, there could have been a hold. I was scared they're going to call a hold there on the Huskies with their O-line, but no flags. And Norrot, he was trying to instruct his receivers to get more open, but just decided to take it himself.
Fake. I think he was trying to fake out the
Maybe.
linebacker.
It could work as both. It could work as a fake or... But the Huskies, with 6 minutes left, they have a chance as they continue to move. They're now 30 yards away from the end zone with ball set up at the prospect 29. Norrot's pass, he finds Wentink again! Wentink picks up the first down and more. And now the ball is really flying for Norrot. This Hersey offense has looked very strong. There is an injured Knight on the field right now. I believe that, yes, there's an injured prospect Knight, so we're going to quickly cut away.
That was the man who tackled Wentink. Maybe he came down weird. Tackling another player on top of yourself is always a struggle. I mean, football, there's a lot of injuries, but that one was, I don't want to say self-inflicted, but, you know, he came down on the tackle. It's unfortunate for him.
So all of a sudden, we're right back. The Huskies could be right back in this with a touchdown. And a 2-point conversion. It's still, I would say
there are only 6 minutes left to go.
6 minutes left, but with 3 timeouts and some strong defense.
We need a strong defense.
We need some strong, yes. I would say max you could give up is like 2 or 3 first downs.
I'm going to say I don't think we win fourth quarter. I think that'd be absurd, but I think there's a chance we tie it and go into overtime.
Yes, I don't think there's any way that there's enough time left to take the lead by the end of this one. Again, we're still assuming that we're going to hit a 2-point conversion twice. We're already 0 for 1.
I believe 1 for 3.
And we also haven't scored yet, so we'll keep that in mind too. But Huskies definitely getting close. Ball at the 10. It's setting up, sorry, ball at the 11. Going to set up 1st and 10 deep into prospect territory. Nara looking to pass again, looking deep for Wentink, and they're going to call pass interference on the Knights. Wentink with the drop that was just off his fingertips.
He came down on the hard track right there. I mean, that's
that's gotta hurt. As a lacrosse player, I've gone down on that track a couple times, and it does not feel good. You burn your elbows all the time. It's not that comfortable. It's made out of some hard clay and.
I would have thought it'd be like a pillow.
Well, you know, some people think it's like a rubber, right? But it's not. So pass interference, ball on the 1, first down, and the Huskies in prime position to score with 6 minutes left in this one.
It looks like they're setting up the ball on the 6-yard line. I don't know what the call is there. Maybe we declined it.
Normally it's where I wouldn't decline a pass interference.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know why it's on the 6-yard line.
Actually, okay, they're going to say 1st and 10. From about the 6-yard line. Norrot's taking it himself, and he gets into the end zone for the Hersey touchdown. Jake Norrot with the 6-yard run, and your Huskies have cut the lead to 10. Barring a 2-point conversion, we could be right back in this one. Don't turn off the TV yet. We got a good one in store.
You know what they call this on Red Zone? The witching hour.
It is the witching hour. When I said Red Zone earlier, I was going to I gotta mention the witching hour, but you beat me to it. It's the witching hour.
When wins turn into losses and losses turn into wins.
Oh. All right, huge 2-point conversion coming up here. Jenkins lined up behind Norrot. Norrot looking to pass. He can't find a receiver. He looks for Wentink. And it's incomplete, no flags.
That basically seals the deal for Prospect right there.
Could almost, it really could, if you hold Prospect quick, you come back down, score.
Maybe you have a chance.
Maybe you have a chance, or no, it wouldn't be well, yeah, I don't know, onside kick. It's not impossible, but I think that 4% just came back down to 1%. So, but the Huskies trying to close this one off. Up 34,
I also
losing 34
don't think
to
there was
24.
anybody open there for Wentink to throw to.
I think
The
they should have
coverage from
handed that off
Prospect
to.
was kinda
I think they should have handed that off to Jenkins, or let Norrod run with that himself.
I think they should have seen if Georgia Kakis could come in and let him truck through.
Yeah. .6:05 remaining. I mean, unless the Huskies go for an onside kick here.
It could change things.
You know, Jack Foster, kind of an onside kick specialist. He did it against Warren week 1. We've yet to see it. Actually, the Knights are lined up in a formation where they'd expect an onside kick.
We don't know what we'll see here. It looks like he's going to go all the way back, though, instead of lining up for an onside.
You could always slow it down.
I don't think so. He lines up totally differently.
In my opinion, I think it'd be a little early to go for the onside kick. See what you can do here on defense. Obviously, hope for a 3 and out. And so Foster is going to boot it through the end zone. I actually think Foster should have kicked that one in play. I know nothing about special teams, so I may be totally wrong, but I think he should have kicked that into play because there was not many blockers up for the Knights, and I think they could have pinned them back in the territory. Doesn't matter, 6:05, though if they would have returned it, time would have come off the clock, which, you know, you don't want to waste any seconds. 1st and 10, Knights on their own 20. The handoff to Donnelly. Donnelly immediately swarmed in the backfield, and it's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage. So that's looking good so far for the Huskies. A big loss there. Don't quite know the number yet. I believe that was a loss of about 5. And so this sets up 2nd and see where they spot the ball. 2nd and 15. So, you know, never say it's over, but
also never say never.
never say never. Never say never. I don't think I could handle first he came back mentally. Prospect fires a pass off to its receiver. Not sure what number that is there. I believe that was Sitchie again. So Nate Sitchie, I believe that's his 4th catch of the game. He will be taken out of bounds. This sets up 3rd and 8. And they have a lot of options on 3rd and long. They've done it before. They can look through the air. They can fake the handoff and run it with Caccini. Or they could just hand it off to Donnelly, but the Huskies have to be ready for everything.
But the thing is, they might not even be trying too hard to get a play. They might think they punted here, and even if the Huskies do score, it's impossible for them to win right there. So unless they really have faith that the Huskies are going to fail the onside kick, they might not be stressing too hard, to be honest with you.
Donnelly's pass off the fingertips of Sitchie. And so pass will be incomplete, and the Huskies will force a punt. And what's key about that was since it was an incompletion, the clock stops. So at 4:38, the Huskies are going to take over. They're down 10. Never say never, Q-Tip.
Also, like I said, they might not be too stressed, so the Knights might not even go for a punt here. I wouldn't be surprised if they take it.
If only the Orange Crush did not leave at halftime. I feel like the energy in here could be a little tense.
They've got Wentink lined up deep. This really ruins the safety core. They are going to punt it off a back of a player yet again. Punts out of bounds. That really helps the Huskies.
That could also, that really aids the Huskies. The Huskies now start in Prospect territory. And you know, there's a new energy now on this Husky bench. Who let the dogs out playing? And this feels like, it kind of feels like we're back.
This is really
It kind of
annoying
feels
to me
like we're
because
back.
Imagine if we made all of our extra points. If we made all of our 2-point conversions, we score a touchdown here and it's tied.
Yeah.
Instead, we've missed
Well, so
every
interesting,
single one.
the Prospect has really struggled to close out games. Let's go back to Palatine, week 2. Prospect was up by 3 possessions. In the 4th quarter alone, they let the Pirates back in, and then they lost in overtime. Against Meadows, up by 2 possessions. Meadows comes back, makes it a 3-point game. They were up 3 scores against the Huskies at halftime. Will the Huskies come back and make this a 1-possession game? Norrod looking to pass. He finds Wentic over the middle, who's still on his feet. Wentic brought down at the 15-yard line, and your Huskies really rolling on offense here. It's a 10. It's a big pickup there for Wentic. I'm kind of speechless right now.
I don't know. I feel like people are getting too excited. We're still down by 10. This touchdown helps us dramatically, but it does not change the game.
Ball on the 15, 1st and 10. Narut has looked so good. Narut under pressure, throw this away, and he does. This will set up 2nd and 10. You know, go for the field goal if you cannot convert here. I know kicking has been a problem, but take points where points you can take.
I kind of agree with you on that one. If they have a chance of win, they need to score either way. Why not take a field goal hole? Wow, here. Ryan is doing some weird stuff up here in the box. You are way too excited.
I'm jumping around. You know, I felt so down early on, but I hope we get some viewers back on this one. Maybe everybody who left the Orange Crush is turning this on right now and watching, because you should feel bad that you're not here right now.
I believe my friends left the game at halftime and went to Andy's. So
oh, okay. Well,
that's how it's going for them.
The crowd getting loud here. Narut drops back to pass. He finds a receiver and it's caught. No, good. Ruin it, incomplete. They say he did not get his feet in. Or no, he dropped it.
He dropped
Casey
the
with
ball.
the drop. I thought he had that in his hands, but incomplete pass sets up 3rd and 10. This is a crucial 3rd and 10. Do you go for the end zone or do you go for the first down?
You gotta go. Well, both.
Both.
You take it to where you make a play. No. You make a play where you catch it at the first down. If you could run the 4 extra yards, good. If you could catch it
I
at
like
the
what
first
they've
down,
been doing
catch
with
it
the
at
little
first down.
underneath pass, slip pass to the receiver, who's just cutting across the middle and then picking up that first down. Huge 3rd and 10 here. Huskies thought they were hopeless, but with 4 minutes, Narut's going to roll out and pass. He finds Wentic. Wentic hauls it in. He's going to be short of the first down. But this sets up a much closer 4th down. Do you take the points with the field goal?
They're too close, dude. They're too close.
This is such a tough decision. I can't watch. I feel like I can't watch right now. But the offense is staying out there.
I feel like I can feel my bones.
4th and 2. Huge play here. Narut looking to pass. He can't find a receiver. He fires. Caught! Touchdown, Huskies! What a catch to the outside! I believe that was, who was it? Was it Terrell? Luke Casey with the grab, and your Huskies are right back in this game. It's 30-34. 3:30 remaining in this 4th quarter. New life to this Hersey crowd.
Actually, it looks like that was Josh Riggs. My apology. I just couldn't see there.
It was far end zone. We couldn't really see it. The excitement.
Jenkins and Wentink were both celebrating, so it wasn't either of them. So
we
Josh Riggs
have got a game here, folks, but it mostly comes down to this extra point by now. He's been 0-2 so far today. Can he sneak it up through the uprights? Miles' kick is up. And it is good! Jack Mao hits his first extra point of the game, and 3 points is your margin so far. So the Knights are going to take over on offense here. 3:30 remaining. The energy, the excitement, no momentum on this prospect sideline right now. Come on, Hersey defense. Let's get this ball back.
The Prospect Knights have not scored a point since the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Huskies have been on a run of momentum, a team morale boost since the end of the 3rd quarter. All 25 of our points have come in this 4th quarter.
Yes, we have really turned it up offensively. It's never over till it's over. We've been saying this all along. Prospect looking pretty lazy out there, I would write. This one's getting tight.
Able to stop it. You know you're going to keep it on the ground. You know, we need a touchback here from Foster.
And good thing the Huskies still have all 3 timeouts, which could help with clock management here. It's just hard when you're going to only want to use them.
Down.
Well, honestly, first down doesn't matter. It's when you get to 2nd and 3rd downs. If they get first down right away, you're fine. Let the time tick off. But then after that, then you gotta really hold them up offensively. So I
Doesn't
would
a
say
first down stop the clock?
no, unless it goes out of bounds. They stop the clock like for a second to move the chains. Foster's kick, line drive, sails to the back of the end zone.
There we go. We needed a touchback to start there. We didn't want them taking any extra yards. Huskies coming in here down by 3. We are all shaking.
We are all shaking in the press box. You know, win or lose, this fight down the stretch by the Huskies, you know, going into Meadows too, like it's gonna really be a gut punch if you don't come out with the win here. But this momentum down the stretch here, let's see what they can do with it. The handoff to Donnelly. Donnelly still on his feet, powering through, and a good pickup there for Donnelly. There is a player down right now for the Knights. It's their quarterback.
No, it's not. It's an
It's
O-lineman.
O-lineman. Sorry, I saw the 1 and I thought it was.
Yeah, no, I get what
No,
you're saying.
it's a 7 actually. Number 70 for the Knights. That is Liam McDonald, the offensive lineman, junior. Was down for a second, gets up though, and so a gain of 5 there by Donnelly.
You know, I thought he fumbled the ball there for a second. His arm got pulled back, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, turnover would be disastrous here for Prospect. It would set up Hersey with excellent field position. 3 minutes left in this game here. Defense is the chant. My heart's pounding. I know your heart's pounding, Q-Tip. Everybody in this booth, eyes locked on this huge second down. Nelson doesn't elect to take a timeout. High snap, almost fumbled, and Donnelly is taken down for no gain. So excellent stop there for the defense. Almost a disaster with the fumble off the snap, but it falls directly into the hands of Donnelly, who gets no gain. Clock is not going to be stopped. Huskies electing to let this one go.
Maybe they think they got this in the bag. If they get a stop, I think they call it
and 3. Huge third down. This may determine the game, Q.
This is a very big momentum change for the Huskies. Can they stop? Ryan is hugging me right now.
Knights are gonna take a timeout, and this crowd is loud. It's 34-31, the Knights with a 3-point lead. And your Huskies looking to stop the Knights on 3rd and 3. Prospect takes the timeout. Huskies still with 3 timeouts.
I just can't believe that we could have been tied right now. That's really what's infuriating me.
Between the 2-point
really
conversions
could have been tied. This
and
could
the
have
extra
been
points.
the greatest comeback, and it still can be an even greater comeback.
Coach Kuhn said that special teams wins games, and this really
proves
shows tonight. Because I also think we have Hersey fans getting loud. You know, there's not many people left here. A lot of our fans are band families and dance families. They left, and obviously the Orange Crush is empty. But look at this crowd all on their feet. 2:04 remaining. 3rd down and 3. What can the Huskies do?
They need to stop the Knights here.
Caccini takes it himself. I believe he's going to get the first down.
He does get the first down. Will the Huskies call a timeout here? They might need one.
They will call a timeout.
Well, not officially.
They're stopping the clock to move the
Timeout.
chains.
There it is.
Timeout by the Huskies. So Caccini, he's been using his legs all day today and comes up with a huge play right there. But
that is, I'm not going to lie, that's brutal for the Huskies. They've only got 2 timeouts left with 1:58 left on the clock. We need a turnover here, I'm not going to lie. Well, I don't even know if we have time for a turnover on downs.
I don't know if it would be a turnover on downs, but again, run a play, takes about 8 seconds for the play, clock stop, timeout, right?
Yeah,
you have 1 timeout, so that sets up second down. And no, that sets up, second down. And then run a play, timeout, sets up third down. Third down, they run a play, stopped, right? Clock ticking off, you're going to lose a minute
They're
of
not
play
gonna
clock
punt
time.
it, though. You think they punt it?
They'd punt.
I guess if we only need a field goal, we don't need that much time.
But, you know, ranges are different for kickers. I have no idea what Mao's longest is. You know, I feel like NFL, I'm like looking, okay, do they get like to the 40? But hand off to Donnelly. Donnelly pushing forward, but will get taken down. That's going to be a 3-yard gain. Another timeout going to be called by the Huskies. Second and 9. 1:49 remaining. One timeout. Sorry, 2 timeouts here left for the Huskies.
This is insane, Ryan. I cannot believe what's going on right now.
It's dead silent in here, which the nerves, the energy
You gotta imagine
right
what
now.
the players are
it's-
feeling. You
Well,
gotta imagine.
if you're a prospect, or if you're a prospect right now, you're ahead. If I'm a prospect, I'm more nervous than Hersey. Hersey's got nothing to lose in this one. If you're a prospect, you've sold games before. You almost sold one last week against Meadows, and now you could sell one when you were up 3 possessions in a rivalry game against the Huskies. But 2 timeouts left, 2nd and 9. Huskies trailing by 3. The handoff, Caccini's going to take it himself and immediately tackle to the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 2. That tackle made by Nikhil Deverpolly coming around the edge. And so this is going to set up 3rd down and 10. 1 timeout left for the Huskies.
You know, Deverpolly was actually going for the strip sack there. He totally went for the ball. Quarterback just
Well, you got to
down.
go for the ball. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
of course. I'm just saying.
Sorry, no timeouts left for Hersey here. They call their final timeout on 3rd and 11. So you got to imagine they're going on the ground. They're not going to want to pass here because if they pass, it's a drop. Clock stops. If they keep it on the ground, yeah, you're not going to pick up the first down, but you're going to give the Huskies the ball left with about 1:10 remaining.
This is monumental.
You know, I've played in a lot of huge games as a hockey player. It's honestly more like you feel more nervous as a spectator than you are as a player. Because as a player, you've been practicing for this. You've been in situations like this.
Like, the Huskies want the win. They have nothing to be nervous for. They're confident.
This crowd on their feet. It's loud for 3rd and 11. Caccini looking to pass. He fires deep for Gonis. Off the fingertips, it's incomplete. That is huge for the Huskies. As Hersey stops the clock with 1:39. I don't know what Coach DeBoof was thinking. Keep it on the ground, delay clock. But now 4th and 11. Your Huskies with 1:39 getting the ball. And this is very reminiscent to last year's regular season game where the Huskies had 1.5 minutes to score. They were down by a field goal, but they couldn't get anything going on offense. Huskies been in this situation before. Caccini back to punt. It's 4th and 11.
Can't believe this. Can't believe what's going on.
Caccini's punt.
It's actually good.
It's pretty good. Nobody back to return for the Huskies. That's an interesting decision. As Gertis will spot the ball at the 38-yard line. So, 1:32. Hersey needs to go. I can't do math that quick in
No
my head.
timeouts left,
60 yards for a touchdown here.
All they need is a field goal to make it to overtime.
They do need a field goal here. With
They
1:32, no timeouts.
At least. But who do they bring in? Olaf, the biggest leg, but not the...
Olaf is no longer on the
is
team
he
anymore.
Injured
so
out.
it's Mao and
Something
Foster.
happened. Mao and Foster only. Okay, maybe they bring Foster and he's been doing kickoffs. They just need
I
some
can't
momentum
watch.
here.
I can't watch this, Q-Tip. Wentic in motion. Norrod fakes the handoff. Looks to Wentic on the outside. Nice pick up there by Wentic.
And it stops
a
the clock.
short gain that gets him out of bounds. Those short plays like that could be big down the stretch. You have plenty of time to just those quick dump off passes along the sideline, pick up an extra few, and go out of bounds. So ball now at the 44-yard line.
I'm going crazy right now.
I have gone through a lot of stages of grief so far today. I feel like I was very down on my luck early on, but new energy here. Norrot back to pass again. He's under pressure, avoids the sack, looking to pass over the middle. Caught by Wontek. Wontek off to the sideline. He gets out of bounds. That stops the clock. Oh my God! What a catch by Wontek! And now your Knights are on their heels. The Huskies terrorizing in Prospect territory.
I'm trying to turn us down. I hope our ears aren't bleeding.
You guys, if we score to our viewers at home, I just want to give you a warning. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know how high my voice may get.
Right
I
now,
may voice crack. My microphone might cut out. It might destroy your speakers at home. But nevertheless, we have a game here. A minute 18 remaining. Norrot looking to pass. Finds Riggs over the middle. Riggs has room. Riggs to the outside. Moving towards the sideline. Josh Riggs picks up yardage, and he's out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Your Huskies with a minute and 11 seconds left, setting up to score.
just so you guys know, Ryan is at about -20 decibels right now, and he's still breaking the soundboard.
I am going to lose my voice before the end of this one. Q-Tip, can I borrow your water, actually?
Of course, Ryan, of course.
Hopefully you don't have
Anything
mono.
goes in the booth.
First and 10, ball on the 18. A minute and 11 left. New energy, everybody on their feet. Norrot looking to pass. Looking for
That's
Casey.
okay. That's okay. We've got time.
Misread on
We've got
first
4
down.
downs, and then we've got 20 yards to go to the end zone.
So misread on first down. I was a little scared. Casey did not see that ball. Thank God it was a little out of bounds anyway, so it couldn't have been an interception. But those are the plays where interceptions happen.
You know, they've got to be stressed out there. They know what's going on. This is the time when I feel like would bring the most nerves. I know I just said they were confident, but it's like, oh my gosh, we need this point. We need this, we need this, we need this, you know?
Second and 10. Norrot has plenty of time looking to pass. He finds his receiver. No flags for tons of contact there on Wentink.
Wow, where is the pass interference flag? Should be 1st and 1 to the goal right now, but it's not.
So the ball is on the 18. Let's just talk field goals here now, okay? This would be about a 35-yard field goal for Mao.
Or Foster.
Or Foster, we're not
has
sure.
a bigger leg.
We're not sure, but this would set up a 35-yard field goal. I think you just don't want to take a sack here. I don't know the typical range for high school kickers, but anything under 40, I feel more comfortable then. Huge 2nd and 10. Norrot looking to pass. He's got Wilder. It's caught. Wilder caught midfield. They've got to hurry up as time ticks off the clock.
They're moving this pace, it looks like. Oh, no.
No, they're going to mark him short.
4th and
no
1.
timeouts to get special teams out there. No, your time's ticking out. Norrot's running towards the sideline. They're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going for it on 4th down. 36 seconds left counting. They don't have a timeout. You can't spike the ball either. 30 seconds. Norrot looking to pass. Caught! Yes! Touchdown! Yes! They don't get no touchdown. They move the chains. They have 22 seconds. No timeouts. They've got to clock the ball. No, Norrot takes. Touchdown! 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 Jake Norrot reaches over the center, and the Huskies score a touchdown. They were down by 22 points, and Jake Norrot scores. I've never seen anything like this, Q. I've never seen anything like this. Huskies take the lead down the stretch. It is 37-34. I'm crying, Q-Tip. I'm crying.
This is insane. What just
Huge
happened?
extra point upcoming here for Mao with 18 seconds left. Mao's kick is up. It It is good! Jack Moe! Extra point is good! And your Huskies take a 38-34 win! Oh my God! Hersey, they were down to nothing! They come all the way back on the Knights! And there's Hersey! The Knights have never been able to close a game, and they haven't today! They had a huge deficit. You got to imagine they're running sprints at practice tomorrow. The Knights losing by 4. 18 seconds left, but this one is not over, Q-Tip. Hail Mary, anything. 2 timeouts left. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Nate Sitchie, Harvard commit receiver. Caccini looking very strong today. Don't turn this game off. We have an excellent finish here coming in store.
Oh my God!
Wow. Your Huskies up 4. Thanks, Q-Tip. I really need water right now. Screaming, crying, throwing up. That's what they say. That's what I'm feeling right now. I'm screaming, I'm crying. I feel like I'm going to throw up.
The 1%, Ryan.
The 1%. They overcame it. They overcame it. And they didn't even convert on 2. Those are 3 touchdowns. Maybe the missed extra points help them because they have the lead. This would have been a tie. So this 18 seconds left. If you're Foster, you want to kick this out of bounds. Don't even let them have a chance at a return. Booted. And it's into the end zone. Foster's kick out the back of the end zone with 20 seconds left. The Knights will start at their 20-yard line. It all comes down to this. 18 seconds. Will the Knights go night-night on their way home, or will the Huskies hold on for an unbelievable display of character here? Caccini looking to pass. Oh, a reverse to Gertis. Gertis, another lateral. I don't know who that receiver is, but he'll be stopped, but will be pushed out of bounds. Are they going to play the lateral game now?
8 seconds.
8 seconds. The Knights playing the lateral game.
And timeout on the Knights.
Timeout by the Knights. 8 seconds left.
Oh my God!
You know, they're at the 40-yard line. 9 seconds left. This could be 2 plays. But they need the end zone here. They cannot settle for a field goal. But the good thing about I'm blanking on the name right now. I have so many thoughts going through my head. When you pitch the ball back, what is that called? Q-Tip, help me out. I just said it.
It's just a pitch, bro. Oh, a lateral.
A lateral. Thank you. I just said it.
I was so confused what you were talking about.
Huskies have not seen a team that has done a lateral yet. You have to keep that in mind. All right. 8.8 seconds left. Everybody on their feet. We're in for a great finish tonight. Caccini dropped back the pass. Caccini fires over the middle. Incomplete with 5 seconds left on the clock. I do not know who that intended target was. But 5 seconds, time for one more play here. This is the best sporting event I've ever been to. This might beat that 2-point conversion freshman year.
Oh my gosh.
We knew your Huskies could pull it off. We did doubt you guys in a couple seconds, but I always had hope.
If you come back to us at the end of the second quarter, me and Ryan might seem like the 2 depressed people on the planet.
So is everybody else, to be clear.
And then you go back to now, 10 seconds ago, me and Ryan were screaming like little babies.
Caccini, the final play, dumps it off. Oh, not the final play, 1.4 seconds as he dumps it off right there to Sitchie. Actually, I'm not sure if that's Sitchie. That may be Kemp. That's Kemp. Gordon Kemp. Yep. Gordon Kemp with the reception. They have the ball just shy of the 50-yard line. 1.4 seconds left. Timeout. Knights, it's their last timeout. And we got to imagine Hail Mary coming up here. Or maybe some laterals.
I think I need to record this last play. I'm not going to lie.
We thank you to all 654 of us joining us now. You know, I'm sure not many of you would have been on if this was a long time ago, if this is early in our second half, but we have a great finish in store. 1.4 seconds. Huskies up 38-34. It's second and 10. Ball at the 40. I believe it's going to be at the 48. Our clock is wrong. This has to be one of the greatest sporting events I think I've ever seen.
I don't think there's a single person in the stands sitting down.
Everybody for both sides are on their feet. The Knights were so confident coming off the field now with Sather.
It's the last play of the game. 1.4 seconds left on the clock.
Caccini drops back to pass. He has no pressure. He fires. Tackled. It's over. Your Huskies win. They overcome a 22-point deficit. Your Hersey Huskies beat rival Prospect in an incredible finish to this one. 3 touchdowns in this fourth quarter. And night, your Knights, as the Hersey Huskies take the win on home field. Next week they take on the Meadows Mustangs. What a finish. What a game we just saw. Let's go.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, let's go.
Oh
Let's
yeah!
go,
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Let's go.
Come on, boys!
Your Huskies come all the way back from a 22-point deficit and beat rival Prospect High School. This is, I don't know.
25-point deficit.
25-point deficit. I don't know what to feel. No thoughts. I need to go and I need to think of. I don't even know what to think right now. This had to be probably the greatest sporting events we've seen.
That was utterly insane, and I'm not talking about cows. That was so absurd.
I think this let this be a lesson. Never say die. Prospect, a team that has loved to say die. Losses to Palatine, who overcome big deficits. Losses to a close win against Meadows. And now this Hersey game. I need to get down there. We need to get down there. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ryan Antonucci, joined here by Quentin Bursch. We hope you have a great day.